everybody, it's Bunny Yen, anang Tokia Yenida, and welcome to the stream, everybody. We're getting spoopy in here. Fuck yeah. Let me scroll up and say hi to everyone. Hi, some random nerd. Welcome to the stream. And Ferris, thank you so much for being first. Welcome in. Hi, Sarah. Welcome to the stream. Hi, Dark Pride. Hi, Uxie. Thank you so much for being first. Thank you for the headpads. No Punch Man. Welcome to the stream. Hi, Magic Man. Welcome in. Who the fuck is Frank? Welcome to the stream. Jaden, thank you so much for being first. And Cactus, Valico, welcome to the stream, everybody. Hi, Sensara, welcome to the stream. And hi, Neo, welcome in. And thank you for all the headphones. Thank you. Alright, boys, gals, non-binary pals. I am so fucking excited for today's stream. Mainly because I just want to read some cool stuff on the internet. That's all I really want to do, not gonna fucking lie. Oh, wait, hold on. I think I need to... No, we're fine. Thank you for the headphones. Thank you. Alright, I have so many windows open right now, so please bear with me while I try to organize these live on stream, because I have no fucking clue what I'm doing. Oh my god, no Punch Man! One whole ass fucking year? You're shitting me. Thank you so much for the resubscription. Thank you. I hope you continue to enjoy the emotes. Speaking of emotes, did you guys notice that we have a new Squishy Nodders emote? Look at it, Nosagi made it. I forgot to give credits to Nosagi, but yes, please give it lots and lots of love. It's adorable. Nosagi made it for me the other day, and I am absolutely in love with it. Yes. Please give it lots of love. Look at them go. They're so fucking cute. Alright. So, if you couldn't tell by the title of this stream, and if you couldn't tell in general, today we are going to be reading spoopy stories. And I totally forgot to update the stream title to spoopy stories. It's supposed to be spoopy stories. But yeah, we're gonna be reading spoopy stories today, and you guys were the ones that sent them in. Thank you for the voice for some...
Hello? We're gonna be reading... Oh, wait, this one's funky. What the fuck? We're gonna be reading spoopy stories today. And these are all submitted by you guys through our Discord. There are a lot. What? I'm not gonna lie. I have a feeling that after a while, I'm gonna get sick and tired of reading the SCP ones. I think there's about 20 SCPs that were submitted. There are so many fucking SCPs. So, we'll see. But, if we run out of content, I will still be accepting people to be sending, stories through our Discord. You can do Discord. If you join the server, you can check in the Toki text chat channel. People have been sending links, so if you want to send me something to read, I will gladly do it.
Capiche? Cool. I sent two in that are not scary and actually pretty cute. One is to wet your whistle, and the second is a palate cleanser. Gotcha. Hi, Mid Valley. Welcome to the stream. I forgot to say welcome earlier. I saw you. Darth Bun. Yes, I am Darth Bun. Hi, Panda, and hi, Birini. Welcome to the stream. Good day to you as well. Alright, let us... Hold on, I feel like my cape is too small. There we go. It's gotta be a little bigger. Alright. Let us start with our first story. This one's not very scary, according to... Zero, who's the one who sent this in. By the way, if the music is too quiet, please do tell me. Alright, the issue with the SCPs, right? Hello. The issue with the SCPs is I was really expecting more people to send in like short stories, kind of like creepypasta form, where they're like, you know, stories. And not that I don't want to read more about SCPs, it's just that they're just like descriptions. You know, and so they're not really immersive. It's not something you can listen to and be like, wow, that's spoopy. It's kind of like it's a Minecraft villager moment, you know? We just, you know? And so, forgive me if I kind of breeze past the SCP ones. I feel like the music is a little quiet, so I'm gonna turn it up a bit. Alright. But yeah, let's get on with reading. Wait, I should be wearing glasses. If I'm reading, I should be wearing glasses. Glass. Now I look like a witch. I have to position them correctly. There we go. Glass. Chat is kind of dumb. You have to give good details. I said creepy pastas and spoopy stories, and I got SCPs. It's okay though. I will still go through them. And like I said, I will still be accepting people to, like, you know, send in stuff up until the end of stream, because I'm assuming we're gonna breeze through these pretty quickly. Glasses. Alright. We're gonna start off the night kind of not as scary. Okay, so this one is SCP-999. I know nothing about the SCP stuff, so you guys are gonna have to forgive me, okay? But it says object class safe. I'm assuming that means it's not dangerous. Special containment procedures. SCP-999 is allowed to freely roam the facility should it desire to, but otherwise must stay in its pen either between 8 p.m. and 9 p.m. for sleeping, or during emergency lockdowns for its own safety. Subject is not allowed out of its pen at night or off facility grounds at any time. Pen is to be kept clean and food replaced twice daily. All personnel are allowed inside SCP-999's holding area, but only if they are not assigned to other tasks at the time, or if they are on break. Subject is to be played with when bored and spoken to in a calm, non-threatening tone. Just realized a blood moon in the background. Very epic. Hell yeah. Some SCPs are creepy, like the flesh that hates. If I remember correctly, SCP is a community about role-playing being top-secret agents with classified information. That much I know. I have never touched the wiki, which I am on right now, and it's different from what I thought it would be. Because let's just read it. Let's just read the description. I might not read all of it, but let's just read the description. Okay. SCP-999 appears to be a large, amorphous, gelatinous mass of translucent orange slime, weighing about 54 kilograms with a consistency similar to that of peanut butter. Subject's size and shape is easily malleable and can change shape at will, though when at rest, SCP-999 becomes a rounded, oblate dome, roughly 2 meters wide and 1 meter in height. The surface of SCP-999 consists of a thin, transparent membrane similar to that of an animal cell, roughly 0.5 centimeters thick, and is highly elastic, allowing SCP-999 to flatten portions of its bodies up to 2 centimeters thin. The surface is also hydrophobic. Although SCP-999 can willfully absorb liquids, the rest of SCP-999's body is filled with a vicious orange substance of unknown chemical makeup, though it is capable of digesting organic materials with ease. Is this that one blob SCP that was sent to me the other day? Subject's temperament is best described as playful and dog-like. When approached, SCP-999 will often react with overwhelming elation, slithering over to the nearest person and leaping onto them, hugging them with a pair of pseudopods while nuzzling the person's face with the third pseudopod, all the while emitting high-pitched gurgling and cooing noises. The surface of SCP-999 emits a pleasing odor that differs with whoever it is interacting with. Recorded scents include chocolate, fresh laundry, bacon, roses, and Play-Doh. Huh. Simply touching SCP's 999 surfaces causes an immediate mild euphoria, which intensifies the longer one is exposed to it and lasts long after separation from the creature. A tickle monster? Maybe? Subject's favorite activity is tickle wrestling. Oh no, this is a nightmare. Often by completely enveloping a person from the neck down and tickling them until asked to stop, though it does not always immediately comply with this request. Though injuries may occur, this SCP has never been found to purposely attempt to harm others and will immediately back away and contract its body into a quivering mound while gurgling in a manner similar to whimpering to a whimpering dog, seemingly apologizing for hurting someone on accident. You got attention again, Yan? Yeah, I got detention again. I'm trapped here and I have to read SCP fucking wiki pages until I'm allowed back out. Hi, Yellow. Welcome to the stream. Alright. I'm gonna not read the entire wiki pages because, again, not really stories, more descriptions. But thank you for the hip pads. And that was interesting. Today, I think, is gonna be the day I learn the most about SCPs. How about this? Let's get all the SCPs out of the way first. And then we'll go back and read the actual stories. We could just delete them if you want. No, a lot of different people sent in SCPs. So he's basically Kirby but Jello. Kirby's great. And also the son of the Satan of the SCP. He's the son of Satan. That on certain SCP pages there are things you can click that have stories in them. Then why didn't you guys just send me the stories? I don't know anything about SCPs. This is so long. Oh my lordy. He's prophesized to beat his father and save everyone. The Jello? The peanut butter one? Eh? There's also one I sent that this specifies the classification is not an actual SCP seeker. Skip right over that one. If you want me to skip over one, just delete it. I don't know what any of those words mean. Every time I go through the SCP website, in the back of my mind, I'm like, I hope I don't have a page about myself on here. Why would a page about yourself be on there? Eh? Alright. This one is SCP-847. I'm gonna be so sick and tired of saying the word SCP. I wish they had actual names. Maybe I'll just stick to the numbers. Alright. 847. I typically don't like horror. I actually love talking about horror. I like reading about it the most. I don't like watching it. That's fine, Dark Pride. Thank you so much for dropping by in it itself. Alright. Object class Euclid. 847 is to be kept in a reinforced modified humanoid containment chamber for the purpose of ongoing behavioral studies. The room is to be fully... Actually, I guess I don't have to look at the containment procedures. Itai. Thank you for the hydrate team. I can do the description. And thank you for the stretch. And thank you for the what I want. Okay. Description. 847 is a human female mannequin. Whoa, my throat made a weird noise. 156 centimeters tall and 27 kilograms in mass, constructed of human hair and an unknown composite fibrous polymer that abrades and shatters similarly to porcelain. Exploratory laparoscopy of 847 shows the presence of internal structures resembling an incomplete set of bones, organs, and major blood vessels composed of the same polymer. Small amounts of a black volatile resin similar to plastination compounds leak from the eyes and damage regions of the mannequin. 847 has always been and is normally at some level of disrepair, with shattered areas on the torso, head, and limbs. I'm kind of the opposite, love watching because they leave so much to discussion. I love reading it. I don't like watching it because it scares me, but reading it fascinates me. Is 5'2" and 60 pounds. Sheesh, girl. Eat some food. 847 is animate and moves with erratic, stiff motions while shuddering to maintain balance. It demonstrates different behaviors depending on the genotypical sex and identified gender of nearby humans. These behavioral patterns are grouped as pattern Z, pattern Y, and pattern X. I'm not gonna read the patterns. These are really hard to read because they're less like lore dumps and they're more like statistical dumps. They did say it's a mannequin, to be fair. They did say it was a mannequin and that she's made of hair and like some organs. I can read this part. A recovery log. A federal human trafficking investigation led to the discovery of 847 in the basement of an abandoned blank department store in Las Vegas, surrounded by partially disassembled and broken non-anomalous female mannequins wrapped in plastic sheets. FBI agents on the scene witnessed 847 exhibit pattern Y behaviors. Initially thinking it is a trafficking victim, agents moved in to assist. 847 then switched to pattern X and attacked one of the agents. The agent subdued 847 with her stun gun, leading to the discovery of high-voltage electricity as a tool for containment, and was evacuated from the basement. The UIU was informed of the situation. Foundation agents were contacted through regular channels, and SCP-847 was secured. Despite signs of human habitation, the trafficking victims were never found. I see. Dude, oh my god. There's so much information about SCPs. I'm actually pretty fucking impressed with how dedicated some of these SCP pages are. Alright, I might take a break from SCP after this next one, because I want to get to the stories. Let me copy this link. Okay. This will be the last SCP, and then we'll take a break, we'll read a couple stories, then go back to SCP. They all have to get approved by people who run the site. How many people run the site, then? That's crazy. Also, hi J-Card, welcome to the stream, welcome, welcome. They definitely read like wiki pages. Yeah, they do. Alright. This will be the last one, and then we'll read some short stories before going back into it. This one is SCP-3008. 3008. I can't just break up a number and say 308 when it's obviously 3008. Alright. What? J-Cart, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to Toki-chan. You're not part of the Toki team. Welcome, welcome in. Alright. So, object class Euclid. Description. 3008 is a... I'm calling it 308. I don't care. 308. I'm just shortening it. 308 is a large retail unit previously owned by and branded as IKEA. A popular... I'm sorry, what? A popular furniture retail chain. A person entering 308 through the main entrance and then passing out of sight of the doors will find themselves translocated to SCP-3008-1. This displacement will typically go unnoticed as no change will occur from the... Is this like that box creepypasta? They will generally not become aware until they try to return to the entrance. SCP-3008-1 is a space resembling the inside of an IKEA furniture store, extending far beyond the limits of what could possibly or what could physically be contained within the dimensions of the retail unit. Current measurements indicate an area of at least 10 kilometers squared, with no visible external terminators detected in any direction. Inconclusive results from the use of laser rangefinders has led to the speculation that the space may be infinite. No, it's an actual IKEA store. It's just an infinite... You telling me this... You're telling me this SCP is just an infinite IKEA store? And it just traps humans inside of it? Because they can't find the way out? Because it's infinite? What? To read about the employees. Where are the employees? Has a rudimentary day-night cycle determined by the overhead lighting within the space, activating and deactivating at times consistent with the opening and closing times of the original retail store. Oh, here. 3008-2 are humanoid entities that exist within 3008-1. While superficially resembling humans, they possess exaggerated and inconsistent bodily proportions, often described as being too short or too tall. They possess no facial features, and in all observed cases, wear a yellow shirt and blue trousers consistent with the IKEA employee. What? Since containment began, 14 individuals have managed to exit 3008 following extensive briefing. All individuals have been administered amnestics. and released. (3008-1) is known to have one or more exits located within, though these exits do not appear to have a fixed position, making it difficult to leave 3008-1 once inside. Using any other door besides the main entrance to enter the structure or breaking through the walls of the retail unit leads into the non-anomalous interior of the original store. Avion, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to Toki-tan. You're not part of the Toki team. It is the back rooms. It's IKEA. Back rooms are IKEAs. It was just hella relatable because I got lost in IKEA all the time. I can't believe that made the cut. Of all the things to make the cut, that's the one that made the cut. Alright. The next one is a pretty popular one, but we shall read it anyways. The next one. Hi, Avion. Welcome to the stream. Welcome, welcome. I hope your day has been kind to you so far. IKEA groups. Hell yeah. Alright. This next one is the Russian sleep experiment. And I actually really like this one. This one's spoopy, and I like it. It's disturbing. It's not really spooky. It's disturbing. But let's read this one together, shall we? And hopefully my illiteracy won't come in while reading this. Alright. Oh, while we're reading, I should probably put something up on the screen like this. So you guys know what we're reading. Yeah? Alright. A dark creature roams the halls looking for unsuspected victims to chase beloved Soviet-era experiments. Hell yeah. Alright, let's start this one. Also, I was gonna pick spookier music, but I didn't want it to be too spoopy, so anime music box it is. Russian researchers in the late 1940s kept 5 people awake for 15 days using an experimental gas-based stimulant. They were kept in a sealed environment to carefully monitor their oxygen intake so the gas didn't kill them, since it was toxic in high concentrations. This was before closed-circuit cameras, so they only had microphones and 5-inch thick glass porthole-sized windows into the chamber to monitor them. Spooky anime for real. Hi Muse, welcome to the stream. Welcome, welcome. Anime is very spooky. Imagine liking anime. Terrifying, truly. The chamber was stocked with books, cots to sleep on but no bedding, running water and a toilet, and enough dried food to last all 5 for over a month. The test subjects were political prisoners deemed enemies of the state during World War II. Everything was fine for the first 5 days. The subjects hardly complained, having been promised, falsely, that they would be freed if they submitted to the test and did not sleep for 30 days. Their conversations and activities were monitored, and it was noted that they continued to talk about increasingly traumatic incidents in their past, and the general tone of their conversations took on a darker aspect after the 4-day mark. After 5 days, they started to complain about the circumstances and events that led them to where they were and started to demonstrate severe paranoia. They stopped talking to each other and began alternately whispering to the microphones and one-way mirrored portholes. Oddly, they all seemed to think they could win the trust of the experimenters by turning over their comrades, the other subjects in captivity with them. At first, the researchers suspected this was an effect of the gas itself. This one fucked me up when the first time I heard it. Me too. Here, let me turn off my fan. Give me 1 second. Better. After 9 days, the first of them started screaming. He ran the length of the chamber repeatedly, yelling at the top of his lungs for 3 hours straight. He continued attempting to scream, but was only able to produce occasional squeaks. The researchers postulated that he had physically torn his vocal cords. The most surprising thing about this behavior is how the other captives reacted to it. or rather, didn't react to it. They continued whispering to the microphones until the second of the captives started to scream. The two non-screaming captives took the books apart, smeared page after page with their own feces, and pasted them calmly over the glass portholes. The screaming promptly stopped. So did the whispering to the microphones. After 3 more days passed, the researchers checked the microphones hourly to make sure they were working, since they thought it was impossible that no sound could be coming with 5 people inside. The oxygen consumption in the chamber indicated that all 5 must still be alive. In fact, it was the amount of oxygen 5 people would consume at a very heavy level of strenuous exercise. On the morning of the 14th day, the researchers did something they said they would not do to get a reaction from the captives. They used the intercom inside the chamber, hoping to provoke any response from the captives they were afraid were either dead or vegetables. Thank you so much for the resubscription, Malkin, and welcome to the stream, Dao. Thank you for being first. Hi, everyone. They announced, "We are opening the chamber to test the microphones. Step away from the door and lie flat on the floor or you will be shot. Compliance will earn one of you your immediate freedom." To their surprise, they heard a single phrase in a calm voice respond, "We no longer want to be freed." Debate broke out among the researchers, and the military forces funded the research. Unable to provoke any more response using the intercom, it was finally decided to open the chamber at midnight on the 15th day. The chamber was flushed of the stimulant gas and filled with fresh air, and immediately voices from the microphone began to object. 3 different voices started begging, as if pleading for the life of loved ones to turn the gas back on. The chamber was opened and soldiers sent in to retrieve the test subjects. They began to scream louder than ever, and so did the soldiers when they saw what was inside. 4 of the 5 subjects were still alive, although no one could rightly call the state that any of them were in life. The food rations past day 5 had not been so much as touched. There were chunks of meat from the dead test subjects' thighs and chest stuffed into the drain in the center of the chamber, blocking the drain and allowing 4 inches of water to accumulate on the floor. Precisely how much of the water on the floor was actually blood was never determined. All 4 surviving test subjects also had large portions of muscle and skin torn away from their bodies. The destruction of flesh and exposed bone on their fingertips indicated that the wounds were inflicted by hand, not with teeth as the researchers initially thought. Closer examination of the position and angles of the wounds indicated that most, if not all of them, were self-inflicted. The abdominal organs below the ribcage of all 4 test subjects had been removed. While the heart, lungs, and diaphragm remained in place, the skin and most of the muscles attached to the ribs had been ripped off, exposing the lungs through the ribcage. All the blood vessels and organs remained intact. They had just been taken out and laid on the floor, fanning out around the eviscerated but still living bodies of the subjects. The digestive tract of all 4 could be seen to be working, digesting food. It quickly became apparent that what they were digesting was their own flesh that they had ripped off and eaten over the course of days. Most of the soldiers were Russian special operatives at the facility, but still many refused to return to the chamber to remove the test subjects. They continued to scream to be left in the chamber and alternately begged and demanded that the gas be turned back on, lest they fall asleep. To everyone's surprise, the test subjects put up a fierce fight in the process of being removed from the chamber. One of the Russian soldiers died from having his throat ripped out. Another was gravely injured by having his testicles ripped off and an artery in his leg severed by one of the subject's teeth. Another 5 of the soldiers lost their lives, if you count ones that committed suicide in the weeks following the incident. In the struggle, one of the 4 living subjects had his spleen ruptured and he bled out almost immediately. The medical researchers attempted to sedate him, but this proved impossible. He was injected with more than 10 times the human dose of a morphine derivative and still fought like a cornered animal, breaking the ribs and arm of one doctor. When heart was seen... That's a typo. When heart was seen to beat for a full 2 minutes after he had bled out to the point there was more air in his vascular system than blood. Even after it stopped, he continued to scream and flail for another 3 minutes, struggling to attack anyone in reach and just repeating the word more over and over, weaker and weaker, until he finally fell silent. The surviving 3 test subjects were heavily restrained and moved to a medical facility. The 2 with intact vocal cords continuously begging for the gas, demanding to be kept awake. The most injured of the 3 was taken to the only surgical operating room that the facility had. In the process of preparing the subject to have his organs placed back within his body, it was found that he was effectively immune to the sedative they had given him to prepare him for the surgery. He fought furiously against his restraints when the anesthetic gas was brought out to put him under. He managed to tear most of the way through a 4-inch wide leather strap on one wrist, even though the weight of a 200-pound soldier holding that wrist as well. Even through. My bad, I can't read. It took only a little more anesthetic than normal to put him under. In the instant his eyes fluttered and closed, his heart stopped. In the autopsy of the test subject that died on the operating table, it was found that his blood had tripled the normal amount of oxygen. His muscles that were still attached to his skeleton were badly torn, and he had broken 9 bones in his struggle to not be subdued. Most of them were from the force of his own muscles that has exerted on them. Aimless Dagger, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to Toki-chan. You're not part of the Toki team. Also, Oogie and Cyberdina, welcome in. Can you please show us the pictures? There are no pictures, fortunately. It's so unsettling that I feel compelled to mute the stream. Oh no, I'm so sorry if it's a little too much. But I like stuff like this. I think it's interesting. Oh, I mean, disclaimer, all these stories are fake. It's absolutely fake. So don't think that this is real. The second survivor had been the first of the group of 5 to start screaming. His vocal cords destroyed, he was unable to beg or object to surgery, and he only reacted by shaking his head violently in disapproval when the anesthetic gas was brought near him. He shook his head yes when someone suggested, reluctantly, they try the surgery without anesthetic, and did not react for the entire 6-hour procedure of replacing his abdominal organs and attempting to cover them with what remained of his skin. The surgeon presiding stated repeatedly that it should be medically possible for that. There's so many typos in this. The surgeon presiding stated repeatedly that it should be medically impossible for the patient to still be alive. One terrified nurse assisting the surgery stated that she had seen the patient's mouth curl into a smile several times whenever his eyes met hers. When the surgery ended, the subject looked at the surgeon and began to wheeze loudly, attempting to talk while struggling. Assuming this must be something of a drastic importance, the surgeon had a pen and pad fetched so the patient could write his message. It was simple. Keep cutting. The other 2 test subjects were given the same surgery, both without anesthetic as well, although they had to be injected with a paralytic for the duration of the operation. The surgeon found it impossible to perform the operation while the patients laughed continuously. Once paralyzed, the subjects could only follow the intending researchers with their eyes. The paralytic cleared their system in an abnormally short period of time, and they were soon trying to escape their bonds. The moment they could speak, they were again asking for the stimulant gas. The researchers tried asking why they had injured themselves, why they had ripped out their own guts, and why they wanted to be given the gas again. Only one response was given: I must remain awake. All 3 subjects' restraints were reinforced and they were placed back into the chamber awaiting determination as to what should be done with them. The researchers, facing the wrath of their military benefactors for having failed the stated goals of their project, considered euthanizing the surviving subjects. The commander officer, an ex-KGB, instead saw potential and wanted to see what would happen if they were put back on the gas. The researchers strongly objected, but were overruled. In preparation for being sealed in the chamber again, the subjects were connected to an EEG monitor and had their restraints padded for long-term confinement. To everyone's surprise, all 3 stopped struggling the moment it was let slip that they were going back on the gas. It was obvious that at this point, all 3 were putting up a great struggle to stay awake. One of the subjects that could speak was humming loudly and continuously. The mute subject was straining his legs against the leather bonds with all his might, first left, then right, then left again for something to focus on. The remaining subject was holding his head off his pillow and blinking rapidly. Having been the first to be wired for EEG, most of the researchers were monitoring his brain waves in surprise. They were normal most of the time, but sometimes flatlined inexplicably. It looked as if he were repeatedly suffering brain death before returning to normal. As they focused on paper scrolling out of the brainwave monitor, only one nurse saw his eyes slip shut at the same moment his head hit the pillow. His brainwaves immediately changed to that of deep sleep, then flatlined for the last time as his heart simultaneously stopped. The only remaining subject that could speak started screaming to be sealed in now. His brainwaves showed the same flat lines as one who had just died from falling asleep. The commander gave the order to seal the chamber with both subjects inside, as well as 3 researchers. One of the named 3 immediately drew his gun and shot the commander point blank between the eyes, then turned the gun on the mute subject and blew his brains out as well. He pointed his gun at the remaining subject, still restrained to a bed as the remaining members of the medical and research team fled the room. "I won't be locked in here with these things, not with you," he screamed, at the man strapped to the table. "What are you?" he demanded. "I must know." The subject smiled. "Have you forgotten so easily?" the subject asked. "We are you. We are the madness that lurks within you all, begging to be free at every moment in your deepest animal mind. We are what you hide from in your beds every night. We are what you sedate into silence and paralysis when you go to the nocturnal haven where we cannot tread." The researcher paused, then aimed at the subject's heart and fired. The EEG flatlined as the subject weakly choked out. So nearly free. There's this pattern with creepypastas and short stories that I find that normally the ending kind of... Not to say that these are supposed to be realistic in the first place, but the endings really take me out of it, I feel like. Either way, really cool premise, really cool read. I think this is one of the first creepypastas I've ever read, and it's what made me go into the rabbit hole that is r/no sleep. You thought that was real? No, not real. Hilm, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome. I think I need to go for a walk to reset myself. I'm so sorry, Uxie. I hope you have a wonderful walk. Stay safe. Researchers were strongly opposed. My face. Howdy, raiders. Howdy. How was your stream? Oh, you were playing Getting Over It? Oh my god. Oh my gosh. Did you get over it? Did you get over it, Hilm? Thank you so much for the raid once again. Oh, and for those of you that don't know me, hi everybody, it's Bunny Idol Yen, Anang Toki Idol Yen입니다, and welcome to the stream. Getting Over It ASM. Wait, tell me, how does that work? How does Getting Over It ASMR work? Because it sounds like something that would happen. No. It does. I like the creepypastas that sound kind of realistic. That's really cool. I guess most creepypastas aim to be kind of realistic. If this makes you uncomfortable, it's only just beginning. Yes, disclaimer, we're reading creepypastas, spooky stories. Viewers' discretion is advised. You were playing Getting Over It, but also doing ASMR. Whispers, fuck shit, goddammit. That sounds awful, but also extremely amusing. I hope you had a good time? Question mark. I hope you had a good time. Alright. Also, I should probably think more before I say some things. I'm gonna try and censor myself as much as possible. Wait, how long is this one? Ooh, this one's pretty lengthy. This one's pretty lengthy, but I think I can do it. Hi, Kraken. Welcome to the stream. Welcome. I fell 4 times and I didn't scream once. I'm proud. I'm so proud of you as well. Hell yeah, that's a flex. Alright, let's read this next story. This next story is a little longer. I've heard of this one, but I've actually never read it. So, let's change the story we're reading. This one is called Tape from Treasure The tune sounds too familiar. K-pop? No. Anime. Tokyo Revengers OP. Crybaby. I don't know this one. Is this one a good one? Is this one spooky? Why is the oh god? Is that a good oh god? A bad oh god? Oh. The Russian sleep experiment is done so I can unmute. I'm assuming these get really dark, so... Should show the images too? Yeah. It's an on-con. Shut the fuck up. I will show the photos. I'm not sure how, but I will show them. Hi, M Stan. Welcome to the stream. Welcome. I hope your day's been kind to you so far. Treasure Island in Disneyland? Maybe. I'm not sure. We're gonna have to read this and find out. This girl really gonna say, let's watch The Ring, but at Treasure Island do it? The Treasure Island one is very creepy personally, and something made 3 fan games. Oh, someone made 3 fan games of them. Well, we're about to read it. I'm gonna read... I normally talk really fast, but I'm gonna try and slow it down and read a little slower. It seems that there are 5 different posts. They're split up, so the story is split up into 5 sections, and we're gonna take small breaks in between each section to talk about it, okay? This is gonna be like a creepypasta book club. Alright. And with that, let us begin. Post number 1. Hello all. Today, I went on an interesting trip. It took me a while to save up for the plane tickets, but it was worth it. Before I get into too much detail, I should introduce myself. Well, not really. I'm very paranoid when it comes to the internet, and I won't disclose my real name, so just call me Delmar. I don't know what it is about that name, but I've taken a liking to it recently. Okay, let's get down to business. I recently got plane tickets to Florida and booked a stay at a small hotel near a special location. It was worth the 6-hour plane ride for where I was going. If you haven't heard of it, I was planning to visit an abandoned Disney resort called Discovery Island. I did my research, and it was originally known as Treasure Island in the early 70s. The mystery behind the island is very intriguing to me, because it was shut down suddenly in '99. There was a lot of controversy behind this island, and it is commonly accepted that it was the reason behind the island's abandonment. I don't necessarily accept that as easily as others might. Don't get me wrong, I do believe it, but solely because of the fact that there isn't enough information on the subject to prove it. This theory doesn't quite settle right with me. That's not how you say that. This theory doesn't settle quite right with me. Thank you for the reading my and hi, Puddle, welcome in. I hopped onto his boat and we were off. The warm Florida air swerved past my temple and into the roots of my hair, relaxing me. This all went away as soon as the island entered my line of sight. I can't explain it. It was a strange mixture of happiness, excitement, and dread. I couldn't explain to you why I felt dread, but I did. I also noticed the air got thicker as we reached the island. I told myself it must be the humidity, but in hindsight, that wouldn't really make much sense. The change was too quick. It wasn't gradual enough to be natural. Ignoring it, my buddy pressed on toward the island. Strange, he didn't seem to comment on the things I've noticed. We've arrived at the island. Finally, after all of the research, I'll finally be able to expose to the world what really happened at this mysterious island. Well, if I find anything to expose, that is. After stepping off of his boat, I felt a sense of satisfaction. All of my hard work had led up to this. I waved goodbye to my friend as he left me to my own devices. I looked around for any landmarks. After finding one, I figured out where I was on the map and headed off for where I thought the most plausible places to find information were. The first place I had in mind was the information booth. By the looks of the entrance, this definitely was a Disney park. It was very well crafted and detailed. Most of the display looked sun damaged and a bit cracked. Some of it you could say looked sandblasted. Well, I guess the years of wear and tear from the unforgiving Florida weather took its toll. I continued until I reached what looked like the information booth. The sign was faded and the paint was chipping. It was hanging by a nail and it obscured my view of the inside. I slid out of the way. Inside was a perfectly normal information booth, as expected. There was an eggshell white desk with assorted tickets on it. It even had some pamphlets mixed in. Taking the liberty of grabbing one of the pamphlets, I ran to the nearest bench and laid it out. Also faded and water damaged, I deciphered as much of the text I could and typed it into a Word document. I noticed something funny, though. I had an internet connection. This place was closed in the 90s. Why would there be free Wi-Fi here? Even if I could explain why there was Wi-Fi, why did I connect without my knowledge? I didn't have auto-connector on or anything. I checked the router name and the IP. The router name was Radio Nick. It didn't display an IP. It seemed to work fine. My internet browser was functioning perfectly. I shrugged it off and decided to take this opportunity to do a little more research. Didn't find anything that I didn't already know. I continued to copy down the contents of the pamphlet. Finishing, I packed up my laptop and continued my journey. It was starting to get dark, which was strange. It was only 2 according to my laptop. I called up my buddy and he came and picked me up. I asked him what time it usually got dark in Florida. He told me around this time of year, which was June by the way, the sun set roughly 8 to 8:30. Perplexed, I opened up my laptop to see that time was, in fact, 8:30. It literally said 2 o'clock 10 minutes ago. Don't freak yourself out, I told myself. It was probably just that sketchy router you connected to that messed up your time. Probably was set to the wrong time zone or something. We arrived to the shore, and I took my rental car to the hotel. After typing this up, it's really put into perspective how weird it really was. I'll pick up my exploration tomorrow. I have about 4 more days on my reservation, and I'm planning on making the best of them. That was post 1 of a 5-post creepypasta. Disney has free Wi-Fi everywhere, even in the 90s, for real. I hope I found the right one. The right one. This is gonna end like Five Nights at Freddy's 3. I have no idea what happened in that game. I haven't been to Disney in like 2 years. I live close by to it. I just haven't had the time to go. Nah, dude, sun goes down about 9:30 p.m. and comes up around 7:30. Well, this story is a story of fiction for a reason. I think we should look at all the pictures after we finish reading. Alright, let's go on to post number 2. I hope I found the right creepypasta. Oh, I see. Set up a random hidden 4G router in the middle of the woods. We do a little trolling. Dude, could you... Maybe you'd be the start of the next creepypasta. Error 101, LOL. Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to Toki Town. You're not part of the Toki team. Hello, hello. Welcome in. Alright. Let's read this next part. Post number 2. That island is hiding something. Something big. I cannot think of any logical explanation of what I've witnessed today. I feel impure. That's the only word that comes to mind when describing what I feel. Something unholy has to have happened at that island, and I feel it's my duty to find out. Okay, before I get into what happened, let me level with you for a second. Here's the information I've got. Remember in the last post when I told you to call me Delmore? You most likely thought that was a completely random name. And in all honesty, I thought so too. Remember the name of that mystery Wi-Fi signal I was getting? It was Radio Nick. Those 2 names are linked. I dug a little deeper into the story of this island, and I found out the original owner of the island was a name by the... I can't read. Let's try that again. Those 2 names are linked. I dug a little deeper into the story of the island, and I found out the original owner of the island was a man by the name of Delmore Nicholson. His nickname was Radio Nick. I couldn't find any records on him, but I did get some information after interviewing some locals. They said he was the reclusive type. He seemed to have a dark cloud hovering over him at all times. He was antisocial and didn't talk to anybody. I've even heard some claims that he was, get this, satanic. Freaking satanic. Of course. Why wouldn't they mix satanic stuff with Disney? Perfect. That's a comforting thought while roaming the island previously owned by a freaking Satanist. But I have heard other claims that he was Wiccan. Other people said he was a combination of both, or as they described it, a Wiccan that believes in the power of Satan. Just keep that in mind when you're reading what happened to me. I had just arrived on the island. You could say I was a little uneasy, kind of on edge, armed with the new information. I still got that same feeling of dread as the day before, only this time I felt more sad than anything. I still entered the park determined to find out the whole radio Nick thing. Wiccan? What's a Wiccan? Let's look up what a Wiccan is for those of you that don't know. A Wiccan, a modern pagan religion. Scholars of religion categorize it as both a new religion movement and part of the occultist stream of Western esotericism. Okay. I planned my route the night before. My first stop was the Explorer's Outpost. Judging by the name, it was some sort of employee area. I couldn't find any info on it, but I was going to trust my gut. I headed up the dock and took a left. There was a building with a thatch roof that had splintered from storms since the closing, and walls made out of various wooden sticks, most of them snapped in half. A small sign stood out front. Explorer's Outpost. I think I'm in the right place. Before proceeding inside, I looked up and remembered the position of the sun. I walked through what was left of the deteriorating front door into a tropical room. It had an information desk and some benches. All the ropes used to form lines had fallen over, and the door leading to behind the desk was blown apart, more so than most of the room. It was as if something forced its way into the back. I proceeded with caution into the back room. There was a room with a bunch of filing cabinets inside. Most of them hung open, and half of the files were on the floor. Paganism without the blood sacrifices. The corner in particular was very dark, almost unnaturally dark. But something about it made me freeze. Something turned its head around, and its eyes reflected the light coming in the room. The eyes lunged at me. The light revealed it was a vulture. It stopped short of my face, and instead of attacking me, it hovered while waving its wings at me, as if shooing me away. I fell on my back, and the vulture landed on the ground below it. It bowed its head at me. My heart was racing a mile a minute, but that gesture made me feel safe. It looked up at me. It pointed its beak toward a cabinet. It tapped its beak on the face of the cabinet. It read, "Real estate." What? This vulture straight up was like, "It's free real estate." I opened up the cabinet as the vulture watched. Only about 5 folders are present. I take them. The vulture waves its wings. Okay, you've got my attention. It taps its beak on another cabinet. It was the employee records. I take those as well. To my surprise, I turned around for more instructions, and the vulture was gone. I didn't hear it fly away or anything. It was just gone. I wouldn't say I fled the island, though I briskly walked at a pace that you could compare to running in fear. I sat at the dock and waited for my buddy to come pick me up. When he arrived, I was so relieved. But as soon as I stepped onto the boat, the overwhelming feeling of fear and dread overcame me, and I felt really dizzy. I fell over into my buddy's arms and he drove me home. He's a good friend. I took it easy from there. I still feel really uneasy and sad about, well, I don't know. I feel constricted for some reason, as if there was something looming over me. Something that I couldn't control. Well, despite my mental condition, I'm still looking into what happened on the island. I should probably start looking through those papers. See you all soon. The friend is sus. I'm calling it now. I've never read this before, so I'm calling it now. The friend is sus. The crow got real estate, vulture, same thing. Scavenger friend, yes. What a homie. Will eat your body when you die under... Yeah, for real. He's the vulture. The friend is the vulture, oh my god. Okay. The next post is pretty short, so I'm just gonna dive into it, alright? Post number 3. Guys, this is going to be a very short post, but this is the information I got. It perfectly correlates with what happened yesterday. I was looking through those employee records, and my suspicions have been confirmed. That Radio Nick guy was a huge Satanist. The employee summary says after the island was sold to Disney corporations, Radio Nick, we'll call him Nicholson, applied as an employee after the island construction was completed. They assumed it was because he couldn't bear to leave his beloved island. In the first couple of years, he acted normally. But in his later years, just before the closing, other employees noticed a change in his behavior. Every day, like clockwork, he walked into the jungle by the South American aviary section, not to be seen for a couple of hours. His superiors continually told him this behavior affected his workflow. This eventually led to his termination. Interestingly enough, the employee summary just abruptly ends there. But handwritten after the end of the summary was some Russian text. It took me half an hour to decipher the individual symbols, and I finally translated online to the word Lucifer's foul game. This astonished me and left me a bit confused. I analyzed what it could mean, and I've come to the conclusion this whole thing has to do with birds. The vultures were the key. I've read up that in some cultures, the vulture is considered to be a symbol of good. It makes me think that these vultures are trying to protect me from something, as well as exposing the truth. I also have read that there was a controversy connected to the vultures that took place when the park was still active. Disney employees were killing vultures because they said they were endangering the avian life on the island. I think the vultures were trying to get rid of the birds because they were connected to something evil, or someone by the name of Radio Nick. That's all I've got so far in terms of theories. So if any of you have any critique to my theory or any information that could help, please don't hesitate to contact me. I should also note that I used all of my food money to buy a digital camera. Nothing fancy. It's actually quite cheap. I'll be sending pictures if I can. I'll be leaving for the island soon. Wish me luck. How is this gonna get scary? Are the birds... so birds good, people bad. That's what I'm learning from this so far. Birds good, people bad. Bird friends. Like, I have no idea where this is going. I'm trying to think of plot twists, but I passed out for a second. What I missed? Go to sleep if you're sleepy. We're just about to read post number 4 out of 5 for this creepypasta. Maybe the birds just show up in more numbers or something. Bird good, people bad. Base take. I'm getting sleepy listening, so that's good. Yes, yes. For those of you... Wait, is that it? Wait, no, Abby. Didn't your day just start? Fun fact about vultures, they have feathers on their legs instead of being scaly like most, and the technical terms of their legs is vultures have pants on? Oh my god, that's amazing. My day just started. Oh no, don't get sleepy. Them vultures got drip for real. Alright, post 4 is also pretty short, so I will be reading this right now. Post number 4. Hey guys, this is Delmar's friend. I'm the one who's been boating him back and forth from the island. I have some weird news for you guys. Should I make a different voice for Delmar's friend? Hey guys, this is Delmar's friend. I'm the one who's been boating him back and forth from the island. I have some weird news for you guys. Delmar is currently incapacitated and incapable of getting a post out. He's out cold on his hospital? No, he's out cold on his hotel bed right now, and he's been having night terrors. I'm worried about what he's been doing out on that island. All I really know is that he's been getting tenser every time I take him. And the most recent ride I gave him, he tried to pass off one of those dollar store disposable digital cameras as something to use on a vacation. I let him borrow my camera and he graciously accepted. After leaving, I was only in my house for 15 minutes before receiving a text from him. The text said, "Come now," and I raced to my car. When I arrived at the island, I found him face down, out like a light on the ground. After failing to wake him up, I just carried him on the boat and brought him to the hospital. The doctor said he was okay. At first they thought he was knocked out with a concussion, but they examined him and found nothing wrong. They just prescribed some rest. So I did just that. I know this blog is important to him, so I thought it would be right if I posted something while he is unavailable. Just wanted to update for you who follow this blog. He should be awake by tomorrow. Okay, never mind. Maybe the friend. Dub friend. Dub friend. Great friend. Short nap won't be too bad. I'm gonna set an alarm just in case. Have a wonderful nap, Abby. Thank you so much for dropping by. I appreciate your enthusiasm for the creepypastas, but if we could keep the roleplay and the strange comments out of my chat, that would be much appreciated. Possessed? Brandon, welcome to the stream. Do you think he's... I don't think he's possessed. I just think something fucked up probably happened. The OP found out too much. Alright. This is the last post, and it's very long, so hopefully I don't fuck up too much. Post number 5. I'm done. I'm done. I am never setting foot on that island again. I just got home from Florida. I waited a while before typing this post, for the sake of my sanity. Let me explain what happened. I just woke up, and I don't remember anything. My buddy was there, and he explained what he saw happen. We talked for a while, before he left because he had errands to run. I got comfy in my bed and turned on the TV. The TV illuminated the room, and I noticed a camera that my buddy let me borrow. I guess he forgot it. I get out of bed and pick it up, and turn it on to see if I should charge the battery. It's Carmen Courtesy. Am I having a stroke? It's common courtesy. Common courtesy. It was then I noticed that there was only a couple minutes left on the tape. He gave me a blank tape with about 2 hours of footage on it. That means I recorded something. That's impossible though, since I had only been on the island for about a half an hour. A morbid curiosity overcame me, and I decided to plug it in and watch it. Hi crew, welcome in, welcome in. Alright. It started out with me waving goodbye to my buddy. I began my hike through the island. The video cut to me at the aviary section of the island. Keep in mind that I don't remember any of this. I was looking around for anything that might answer some questions. I headed for the maintenance area behind the bird exhibits. I closed the door behind me, being the genius I am. It was somewhat dark in there. Light enough so you can see, but dark enough to make you feel uncomfortable. It was a room full of bags of bird seed, some ripped open and spilled on the floor. There was a bucket in the corner from what I can see, with some scrapers next to it. I could only guess what that's for. I continued on into the dim room, when I find a room with a bunch of pedestals scattered on the floor. It seemed like they were ripped off by something and hastily thrown into a back room. I put the camera on a nearby AC unit, and I watched myself pick one of them up. I looked surprised, and a bit scared. I showed the camera the face of the pedestal. It was one of those information pedestals that taught you about the bird it was showcasing. It had an upside-down pentagram burned on it. I paused the tape to clear my head, after which I continued, bracing for the worst. I picked up another one and showed this one to the camera. An upside-down cross with what appears to be a crude Mickey Mouse nailed to it. I put it down slowly, but a bang made me freeze. I stood there for about 10 seconds, before something made me grab the camera and run. The video cut to me walking around outside. It was dark out now. Using a flashlight to lead the way, I briskly walked through the park. It was eerily quiet. The only sounds I could hear were heavy breathing and quiet footsteps. This continued for about 10 minutes. The video cut again. This time, I was in what appeared to be a bathroom. I was kneeling on the ground, facing the side of the stall. I was leaning on it as if I was being deprived of strength. I turned around towards the camera and started to softly sob. I was feeling uneasy watching this, as I don't normally cry. After a bit of sobbing, a female-sounding voice in the distance simply stated, "Stop," in a firm voice. I did as she commanded. I hesitated for a bit, and without warning, I punched a hole through the hard plastic stall wall and began to scream, before the video cut to a new scene. This time, I was in a security room. All the TVs were functioning perfectly. They were all displaying different parts of the island. People were hustling and bustling about the exhibits and displays. The camera zoomed in on the date displayed in the corner. All I could get out of it was the 1999. I believe it to be the date of the park closing. It showed there was one man that climbed over the railing into the jungle. The security feed began to fast forward and stopped after 10 seconds of fast forwarding. What I saw next, I couldn't get out of my mind. All of the people in all the feeds were covering their ears and bending over in agony. The only people that weren't were the employees, who started to show alarm. I could understand why. If everybody except me and my coworkers began to act like that, I would panic too. They tried things from shaking the people to hitting them. Nothing got them to respond. One of the employees stood up, shouted something at the other employees, and started to run away with them, as if away from something. I soon realized that was when a black mist rolled over the island visitors at a surprising rate. It didn't even seem like mist, just a black mass that consumed the camera's view. I stopped the security feed and backed away to show all of the TVs. Just then, a soft voice from behind. Hello. The camera swerves around to see Snow White staring blankly into the camera. Have you met Nick yet? She undergoes a gruesome transformation. Her eye sockets turned a dark black, and veins around her eyes splintered out from the center. Her eyes turned white, and she violently cocked her head to the side with a loud crunch. Her jaw dropped and almost touched her shoulder as she let out what sounded like a scream. It was so loud, it distorted the audio. She put her arm straight out in front of her and lunged for the camera, before it cut again. I was one. Ah! I hate you guys, I hate you guys, I hate you guys. Oh my god. Ryomen Sukuna, 53, Game Baron 77, and FNAF, thank you so much for the follows. Welcome to Toki Town, you're not part of the Toki team. I hate you. Oh my god. Anyways, I was wandering through what appeared to be a plaza sort of place. I, every once in a while, peered into one of the displays or snack bars. Every time, I would find another pentagram burnt into the ground on the inside. My silence worried me. Whispering became audible, but it was multiple voices. My footsteps became paired with another, and so on. My walk became a brisk jog, and I stopped checking in the displays. I was tempted to stop the video, but I gathered my courage and pressed on.
That's right, Yoon. From this day forward, you'll be known as Bun E! Do not fail me.
I abruptly stopped in place, while the whispering and the footsteps grew louder. I quickly turned around to find nothing, while the whispering and footsteps stopped. I let out a pained sigh of relief. Or at least, that's what it sounded like. I turned back around, and again, to be greeted by Mickey Mouse. He said, "Have you met Nick yet?" Mickey began to violently shake, after which his eyes exploded, sending entrails and blood spewing out of his eye sockets. I hear a scream from an unknown voice. Then, halfway through the explosion, the video cuts again. It was lighter out. Blood was spattered on the camera, but only a little bit. I was sobbing again, but I was holding the camera and walking through the woods. The camera jerked forward, and I almost dropped it. The camera pointed down to the ground where an arm was sticking out of the ground, grabbing my ankle. I pulled away, and pulled the rest of the body that belonged to the arm out with it. It was a sickly version of Mowgli, the protagonist from the Jungle Book. He looked gray, and he strangely had more contrast than the rest of the shot. His hair had fallen out, only a couple of dangling strands. I started to scream for help. I dropped the camera, showing a shot of multiple Mowglis climbing on the trees. They all were barking and yelling. Same. My foot had just escaped the camera's view as all of the Mowglis pounced onto me, also escaping the camera's view. After that, it got quiet. The camera sat there for roughly 30 seconds. Re-entering view, I stood up and picked up the camera. I walked through the jungle for a while until I got to a cliff. I had to jump over a railing to get to it. I placed the camera down and walked towards the edge of the cliff, leaned over the edge, and fell. I'm done. I'm done asking questions. I'm done being curious. I'm done looking for answers. I'm done. I refuse to try to analyze something or anything I saw on that tape. I refuse to further explore the topic. I'm done with this blog. This will be my last post. I know this may be an anticlimactic ending, but I honestly couldn't care. Feel free to speculate and discuss any theories on this. Just know that I will not be answering any questions. No, I will not provide the video. I'm not wasting my time digitizing it. The only thing I will provide is this picture I found on my digital camera that I bought. Goodbye all. I'm done. I'm done. Y'all want to see the spooky photo? Down. Ooh, spoopy. Spoopy. Yummy. Dude, wait. Is that what I look like when I'm barking and yelling? Wait, we kind of look the same. Don't we look the same? I put a bow on my head. Welcome back, Uxie. How did Mickey get involved in this? What is going on? Well, this was at an abandoned Disney park, so Mickey and Snow White were there. I wonder if it might be a good idea to disable sound so that the reading doesn't get interrupted by a pecking fart. I think that was funny, but yeah, maybe you should probably... I should probably disable the sounds for today. 'Twas good. I'm glad you had a good walk. No worries. Sorry, I had to clip the scream. You're fine. Yeah, you can post the clip. Thank you so much for asking. It was the wrong one. You made me read for 30 minutes just for it to be the wrong one? Damn. Zoom enhance. I hate it when they use shaky cam. For real. When you forget you had homework due today. Gotta fucking zoom. You know? Getting ready to take off. So the monster at Treasure Island is your rival for Kyoko? Kyoko would never choose her over me. Right? Kyoko. Kyoko, you would never choose this thing over me, right? Right? Someone say right. Someone say right. Please, please say right. Kyoko would never, right? Okay, since almost all the ones so far have been from 0, let's start choosing ones from other people. I want to make sure I get it from other people. Okay, let's do this one. The dog would open the door for real. I don't know. Thank you, Uxie. Thank you. Much appreciated. Man, corrupted family friendly decomposing mascots kind of hit different. I can be a corrupted family friendly decomposing mascot. Kyoko chose the wet blanket. That was Makoto. Okay, you do have a point. I mean, it was still crazy, but I didn't have to use negative Mickey photo. What's photo negative Mickey? How long is this one? Ooh. This one is a little lengthy. But I'm curious, so I'm gonna read it. This one is called Feed the Pig. Pig. I like pigs. This can't be bad. It's about pigs. Pigs are cute. The music is what gives a spooky vibe for me. Do you want me to change the music? I can make it super spooky. DMCA free. Wait. Scary music. Wait, it's already spoopy is what I'm saying? This is spoopy? Make it hella spoopy? Like this? Oh, dark piano. I like piano better. Piano. Now you feel like a Disney villain. Alright, let's read this. Feed the pig. Oh wait, let me turn off the things first. Oh, I have no idea how to say your name. I'm so sorry, but thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to Toki Town. You're not part of the Toki team. Welcome, welcome in. Give me 1 second, chat. I'm not logged in for some reason. Log me in, please. Oh no, let's do my alerts. Alright, they have been removed. Is this too loud? It's like obnoxious. Alright. I don't really know how to pronounce it either, but my actual name is Levi. Alright, Levi it is then. I'll try to remember that. Spoopy not isn't scary, but out of place for what you're reading in a good way. Make it hella spooky. Is this not spooky enough? Yes, there is a trigger warning for sewer slide in this one. I will try to censor my own language as much as I can, but this music is a little too dramatic for me. I want like music box. Scary music box song. 30 minutes. Let's do a loop of this. What is this? There we go. This is much better. Alright. So, here. Content warning. There is a trigger warning for sewer slide in this. I will try my best to censor my own language, but when the entire story is graphic and descriptive, please just watch at your own discretion. All right, is this too spoopy? You guys will be okay. You'll be okay. Look, chat, hold on. Let's hold hands. Chat, look. Chat. Wait, this is the wrong one. Hold on. We can hold hands, chat. Chat, look. I'll come. Oh no, not me. Disrobing. Oh gosh. We can hold hands, chat. Okay, like this. Better? We can talk like this. All right. No more. It's spoopy, but it's the good kind of spooping. And holding and disrobing, lewd. All right, better. All right. Let us read this story now. I need my hand, please. Gotta do my dailies. It's mine now. You gave it to me. You're not allowed to get it back. All right. Let us read. Feed the pig. Once again, another content warning, just in case you didn't hear the first one. All right. I slowly opened my eyes. My head was swimming and a dull pain surrounded my throat. I was thirsty. That was the first thing I noticed. I licked my dry lips as my surroundings faded into focus. My body ached, and I realized it was because I was tightly bound to a metal chair in the middle of an empty room. The barren concrete walls were stained and dirty. The floor beneath my feet were cold and slightly wet. I feel like this is getting a little loud, so let's lower the volume. A single bulb lit the room, dangling from the ceiling by a string. It cast moving shadows, and I blinked back darkness. An open door stood before me, but I couldn't see anything but the wall of a hallway. I tried to clear my head, tried to remember how I got here. I squeezed my eyes shut and forced myself not to panic. I slowed my breathing and focused my thoughts, desperately trying to summon some recollection of why I was here. I couldn't remember anything. I opened my eyes and exhaled, my parched throat throbbing. I could hear sound echoing off the hallway walls outside the door. Screaming, clanging, howling, all very distant, but that did nothing to help calm my nerves. How is my chat already turning this story into absolute degeneracy? Hello? I cried, the word tearing at my vocal cords. I felt my chest hitch in pain, but I cleared my throat and yelled again. Is anyone there? Hello? The dark hallway remained silent, except for the constant echoes. I shut my mouth and tried to wiggle free of my bindings, but the rope was knotted impossibly tight. I fought back against my imagination as it flooded my mind with horrific scenarios of what awaited me. If only I could remember. Suddenly, footsteps erupted from outside the door, a rapid patter of small feet. My hopes rose, and I trained my attention on the door, praying it was help. A young boy ran into the room, dressed in a red onesie, complete with padded feet. Stretched over his face was a plastic devil mask. The eye holes revealed massive blue eyes that greeted me curiously. Taken aback, I opened my mouth to speak, but that's when I noticed something was off. His eyes were huge, impossibly round and bulging from their sockets. It sent a shiver of unease down my spine, but I shook it off. This child might be able to free me. Hey, I hissed, urgently. Hey kid, can you get me out of here? The boy took a step closer, cocking his head, but remaining silent. I rattled my bound arms against the chair. Cut me free, please. I shouldn't be here. This is some kind of mistake. The boy eyed me behind his strange mask and stopped directly in front of me. He leaned in close and whispered, his voice like wet silk. You did a bad thing. Confused, I shook my head. No, this is a mistake. I didn't do anything. The boy's enormous blue eyes suddenly filled with sadness. Oh, you did a really, really bad thing. I shook my head again violently. No, I'm sorry, I don't remember. Just, please, get me out of this chair. Suddenly, before either of us could speak again, a man came charging into the room. He was overweight and dressed in overalls, his grizzled face twisted in seething anger. He was holding a sawed-off shotgun in his arms. I didn't do anything, I cried as he advanced on us, my voice cracking. I'm not supposed to be here. The big man ignored me and instead grabbed the kid and shoved him against the wall. The boy grunted as his back struck the concrete and his eyes rose to meet the grizzled man's. Wordlessly, the man raised his shotgun, placed it against the boy's forehead, and blew his head off. Chunks of gore splattered the wall as shock slugged me in the stomach like an iron fist. My ears rang, and time seemed to slow as I watched in horror as the headless body crumpled to the ground. My breath rushed back into my lungs, and time seemed to readjust. Jesus fucking Christ! I screamed, straining against the ropes, my eyes bulging in horrific shock. What the fuck? The man ignored my screams as he bent down and picked up the boy. He slung the ruined corpse over his shoulder and walked out the doorway. Suddenly, the hallway erupted with malicious laughter, a chorus of voices, all howling in glee. I shut my eyes, the noise deafening, as absolute terror filled my every pore. After a few moments, the laughter faded, and I cautiously opened my eyes, unable to believe what I had just witnessed. Hello. I jumped, as I realized there was another man standing before me. He was dressed in a simple, white button-down shirt and jeans. His brown hair was cut short, and he appeared to be in his early 30s. His green eyes were dull and lifeless, his full lips pulled down at the corners. What is going on? Where am I? I cried, new fear pooling in my stomach like hot blood. The man crossed his arms. So you're new here, huh? He shook his head. You people disgust me. Questions bubbled on my lips, but he waved them off with the sharp chop of his hand, slicing the air and demanding my silence. He ran his tongue over his teeth, sneering. You look like you've already seen some of the horrors that this place holds, huh? Yeah, I can tell by the look in your eyes. You're terrified. You see something you haven't. You've seen something, haven't you? It doesn't seem all that bad now, does it, looking back? You've been here 5 minutes and you're already shitting your pants. Oh my god, I can't fucking talk. Where am I? I gasped, unable to hold back any longer. What do you people want? The man crossed his arms behind his back. I bet you want to get out of here, don't you? I bet you like to go back to your home, your family, everything. Please, I interrupted. Whatever I did to you, I'm sorry. I really am. But I don't remember. The man rolled his eyes. You didn't do anything to me. You did it to yourself. You really don't remember anything? I shook my head and felt tears brimming in my eyes. Liquid fear. The man looked at me with contempt. You waited until your wife left for work, and then you went out to the woodshed and hung yourself. You're dead. The recent memory rose in my mind like a monster from a bog. My eyes went wide. As much as I wanted to deny it, he was right. I had killed myself. The incident tore through my brain like a bullet train and left me reeling. I'm Danny, by the way, the man said, ignoring the shock on my face. And I'm number 2 here. I run the orientation process. I want to make this quick because I'm tired of repeating this fucking thing to you pathetic unalivers. You get one question, though, before I begin. He stared down at me and I scrambled to organize my thoughts into something cohesive. This was all horrifying. Why did I commit? I fought against the fog and panic, and the mist of confusion slowly began to lift. I had just lost my job. Yes, that was the start. I squeezed my eyes shut and forced more of the memory to emerge. I had lost my job, and I was about to lose the house. My wife, Tess, she found out and was going to leave me. I didn't have any way out, didn't have any options. Getting fired had come out of the blue, and I didn't have much in savings. I was broke, soon to be homeless, and my wife hated me for it. There was something else. Yes, that's right. She had been cheating on me. I had seen her texts on her phone while she slept one night and confirmed my suspicions. My life had degraded to shit, and I had run out of options. Humiliated and ashamed, I had decided death was my only option. Hey fucker, do you have a question or not? Danny asked, snapping his fingers in front of my face. I was sucked back into reality, and I asked the only question that mattered. Is this hell? Danny snorted. That's always what you people ask. He began to pace back and forth in front of me. No, this is not hell. It's not heaven either. This is the Black Farm, and no, I didn't name it that. This is where God sends the souls who have ended their own lives. You see, he doesn't really know what to do with you, and neither does the devil. They are genuinely good people who, unalive, seems cruel to banish them to hell for all eternity for a moment of weakness, right? Personally, I think God and the devil were just tired of arguing about it. And so, they send them here, to the Black Farm. Did God create this place? I asked, growing more and more confused. Danny spit on the floor, chuckling. Sure, at some point. But he lost control of it when he put the pig in charge. What's the pig? I asked, unsure I wanted to know the answer. Danny held up a hand, annoyed. Can I fucking finish? God created this place eons ago, put the pig in charge, and then forgot about it for a while. Well, when his back was turned, the pig decided to use his new powers to try and create his own little world. This mess you see around you is the fractured remains of that experiment. The Black Farm used to be a lot nicer, but the pig wanted things to be different. He wanted to create his own vision. These people you see, these monsters, they are the pig's attempts at creating functioning life. Instead of mirroring God's earth, these mutated horrible creations are full of sin and hatred. They run rampant here, unabashed. This place is chaos. The Black Farm is a circus of freaks and monsters. And it's your eternity. Fear boiled in my gut like a thick oil. No, this couldn't be my end. I didn't believe in stuff like this. This wasn't real. I would wake up soon and realize I was just having a nightmare. That had to be it. Danny stood before me and lightly slapped my face. Hey, don't go into hysterics on me. I haven't finished yet. I raised my teary eyes to meet his. Danny smiled. You can always feed the pig. My breath pushed from my lungs like a burning stream. What does that mean? Danny spread his hands, still smiling. It's as simple as that. Feed the pig. If you do so, there's a chance he'll send you back to your life. And what if he doesn't? I bumbled. You get sent to hell. So flip a coin if you have one. Stay here with us or feed the pig. If you choose to stay, I'll let you go. I'll let you go out there, he said, pointing towards the door. But let me assure you, what awaits you at the end of the hallway? Well, let's just say hell isn't that much worse. I swallowed hard, trying my best to digest everything. Why wouldn't I try feeding the pig? Whatever that meant. If there was even a sliver of hope, I should take it. An eternity in this place, the Black Farm, be sent to hell, or feed the pig. I would do anything for a chance to go back. This nightmare made my problems seem nothing in comparison. Danny raised a hand before I could speak. I'll let you think on it a while. I'll be back later. I want to feed the pig, I cried, not wanting to spend another second in this awful room. I could hear a woman screaming down the hallway, her cries rising as something meaty pounded into her. My breath came in sharp pulls and my throat burned. Danny noticed the noise and grinned. Sounds pretty bad, huh? He said softly, as the woman's voice creaked with agony. Something was still slamming into her, the sound of beaten flesh igniting my imagination with horrors. Please, I gasped, breathless. Just let me feed the pig. I don't want to be here any longer. Danny turned away from me. I'll be back later. Enjoy your time alone. Really think about your situation. Weigh your options. And remember, you put yourself here. And with that, he was gone, leaving me in the dim room. Tears streamed down my face. The woman didn't stop screaming for hours. Okay, this story is really long, so I'm gonna take a short heartbeat stop and re-chat. So far, I'm actually really liking this. I've actually never heard of this one, surprisingly. Spooky, very spooky. And crew, thank you so much for being first. It's as simple as that. Animal Farm, still here. Thank you for still being here, Jake. I don't think shrimple is the right word to use here. Can I confess something? I don't know if it's because I need to touch grass, but why in my mind is Danny hot? Like... like, you know, my mind, Danny, you're not wrong. You're so... No, but like, is he giving Gojo vibes? I've never watched Jujutsu Kaisen, but Gojo's absolutely a sadist and he's psychotic. He's a psychopath. You can't tell me otherwise. He's an overpowered psychopath. Does Danny not also radiate psychopath overpowered male? Why? What do you mean why? Have you not? He's giving... It does, right? It does give Gojo vibes, and everyone barked for Gojo. I'm normal. It's normal. No, yeah, he gives overpowered psychopath vibes. Dude, he's cool. I like him. Ace Kichiro, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to Toki-tan. You're not part of the Toki team. How do you... What? You guys don't think so? I think Danny's cool. I'm touching grass, farming emblem domain. Hey, yo! Respectfully, I let him slap me in the face. He did. He did slap the protagonist in the face. Gently, though. See? He's nice. He's a good boy. Very good boy. You know? Ooh, whispering song. Alright. Let's continue reading a little bit now, shall we? Alright. At some point, I fell into a semi-sleep. The darkness in the room seemed to press in on me, and my eyes fluttered shut. My body ached, and my throat was a halo of fire. Thirst raked at my windpipe like sharp glass. My lips felt like crumpled paper. My head thundered like a drum. The room swam in and out of focus, and my mind drifted toward the horrific sounds that never ended. I also would like to say that of the ones we've read so far, this one has... the writing style of this is fantastic. I like the writing of this. It's really interesting. Thought of him as a middle-aged man who kind of appears to be a mentor giving his life experience to a youngin'. But he's only in his 30s. That's not really middle-aged. Is that middle-aged? He's young. It said 30s. My demographic... I mean, what? Anyways. I was lost in a haze, unaware that something was sliding into the room, until I felt a sharp prick on my big toe. I jolted out of my daze as my bare foot ignited with pain. I screamed and tried to move, but my bindings held me tight. The room rushed back into focus, and I blinked in agony as I felt blood trickle between my toes. I looked down for the source of the pain, and I felt a scream claw up my throat. Staring up at me was an armless man. He slithered on the He slithered on the floor like a worm, his bald head scabbed and filthy. His legs were wrapped together in barbed wire, forcing him to wriggle his body to move. His eyes were lidless and wide, two bloodshot white orbs that stared up at me with hungry intensity. His teeth had been removed and replaced with long screws, which jutted from his bleeding gums like a broken rock formation. Around his neck was a chain leash, which I followed across the floor to the open door. The end of the leash was held by a tall, naked man. His body was hairless and flabby, covered in similar scabs like his pet. A dirty bag was pulled over his head that hid his features except for a single red eye that peeked out at me from a crude cut in the cloth. Oh. I don't think I can read that. Oh. Oh. Um. um. How do I tiptoe around TOS? So we're gonna call Naked Man Titan. Oh no, not the raid. Welcome, raiders, welcome. I can't just do it. It's against TOS. Hojo-sanin, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome, raiders, welcome. I'm not holding it's Chat's arm. Me and Chat are holding hands. Because we're reading spooky stories. But Hojo, thank you so much for... Hojo-san, thank you so much, so much for the raid. For those of you that don't know me. Hi, everybody. It's Bunny Idol Yen. Anong Toki Idol Yen-입니다. And welcome to this stream. Is that supposed to be Andrew or Inoru? Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to Toki-tan. You're not part of the Toki team. Currently, we are reading some creepypastas. Viewers' discretion is advised. There's a lot of content, graphic content, sensitive content, so you have been warned. Yeah, welcome to the stream. I'm so sorry, I talk really fast. But welcome to the spooky stream where I'm reading some creepypastas. I will say once more before we continue. Viewers' discretion is advised. Content warning, graphic warning, topics such as a lot of gore, a sewer slide, and unaliving, stuff like that will be common within these stories. So please watch at your own discretion. She ripped my arm off. I did not rip your... You didn't see that. I did not rip your arm off, Minokaro. Don't lie. And I hope you had a wonderful stream once again, Hojo-san. Thank you. Alright, let me try and tiptoe around TOS. Okay, so we're gonna call Titan Man, or we're gonna call Naked Man the Titan. Titan be debating. Titan be debating while watching Dogman wriggle towards protagonist? Yeah, let's just put it that way. I screamed as the screw-filled mouth bit at me again, and my cries seemed to stimulate the naked man even more. Get off of me! Stop it! I screamed, horrified. I tried to kick at the man, doing my best to avoid his sharp metal teeth. I brought my heel down on his head, and he screamed as his face bounced off the floor. Oh. Titan Man seems to be enjoying this. And I turned away. Oh! As a mist of black sprayed out onto the floor. Oh! Why is it black? There was a rattle of chains, and I turned back to see the two of them leaving, the armless man dragged by his neck out the door. I looked at where the bag man had spilled and saw a puddle of dead ants. I vomited onto myself, thick, chunky curtains of bile and slime. Ugh. Did dead ants come out of him? Did he come dead ants? Is that what that... Get me out of here, I screamed, strands of puke running down my chin. I don't belong here. I listened to the two men retreat down the hallway, the clank of chains accompanied by the sound of flesh being dragged across the concrete. I screamed again, but I knew no one was going to help me. I spit a wad of phlegm and bile onto the floor, ridding my mouth of its sourness. I forced myself to calm down. It wasn't easy. After some time, I heard someone else approaching. I had been in a miserable lull, my mind a blank canvas of dark despair. But the noise roused me from my trance-like state. The muscles in my arms burned from being restrained for so long, and I shifted them desperately, trying my best to prepare myself for whatever horror was about to walk through the door. Footsteps drew closer, and then a woman walked into the room. She stopped at the doorway and looked at me. One of her eyes was missing, a dark, cavernous hole in her skull. Her hair was ratty and wild, a brown tangle like a forgotten nest. Her skin was pale and filthy, and she was dressed in rags. I couldn't tell how old she was, but there was maturity in her one good eye. Still thinking? She asked, her voice coarse and brittle. What? She took a step closer. Are you still deciding whether you're going to feed the pig or not? I looked at her cautiously. Yeah, I am. Who are you? What do you want? I was once where you are now, she said, trying to decide my fate. I couldn't believe that this was what happened after we die. It wasn't what I was taught. Religion didn't warn me about this place. I tested my bindings again before asking, did you commit too? You're a person like me? You're not one of those creations? She snorted. Breaks my heart you have to ask, though. She touched the hole where her eye should have been. Though I can understand your caution. Yeah, I did. I've been here for a long, long time. But that was my choice. I decided to chance it here. I motioned with my head towards the door. What's out there? What is all of this? She exhaled heavily and leaned against the wall. I can't even begin to describe this place. It's like nothing you've ever seen. You walk down that hallway and go out into it, and... She swallowed. You'd have to see it to understand. How bad is it? Why are all these mutated people hurting and killing each other? I asked. She let her head loll back against the wall. It would take years for you to fully understand this place. I think that's supposed to say roll back against the wall. It would take years for you to fully understand this place. Years you don't have. Right now you have to make a decision. Stay or feed the pig. They tell me hell is worse than here, but it can't be by much. Monsters and Kermits roam the black farm, killing, oh, bad word, brutalizing, and then you wake up and wonder how long you can survive before something else kills you. It's an endless cycle. So why did you stay? I pressed. Why didn't you feed the pig? I don't even know what that means, but I would do anything for a chance to go back. I can't stay here. I just can't. She smiled sadly at me. Why? Why did I choose this? It's simple, really. I'm a coward. I was a coward when I was alive, and I'm a coward in death. When it came down to it, when the moment presented itself, I chose to stay here. I didn't know what awaited me outside. It boiled down to a simple choice fueled by my own fear. What is the pig? What does it do to you? I pressed. She suddenly turned to go. I'm afraid that's for you to find out. But let me warn you. Think hard before you make a decision. Sometimes suffering through your fear is better than suffering for eternity. Be brave. What do I do? I yelled, shaking in my chair as she walked out the door. She paused and took one last look over her shoulder. Her eyes darted around, and she dropped her voice to a whisper. Feed the pig. And with that, she was gone. I sat in silence once again. My mind was spinning, desperately turning over my options. I still couldn't fully understand the situation I was in. It was too much. Too overwhelming. The other side of death wasn't supposed to be like this. I didn't know what I had expected, but it wasn't this nightmare. Questions crashed over my mind like cold waves onto a sinking ship. How was I supposed to make a choice when I didn't even know what my actions entailed? This place, the Black Farm. I couldn't stay here. But what if I went to hell? What if I didn't get sent back? I would be out of the fire and into the frying pan. My existence would forever be damned to unending misery. Here, though. Here, there were people like me. Kermits. It wasn't all monsters and mutilated murders. Maybe I could hole up somewhere with them. Try to scrape together a passable existence. Surely that would be better than getting sent to hell. No, this wasn't going to be how I spent my eternity. I refused to let it be. If there was even the slightest sliver of hope, I would take it. I didn't want to wonder what could have been. I didn't want to be tormented by doubt. I would feed the pig and accept whatever fate chose for me. When I boiled it down, that was the only option left. Dash in the Reaper, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to Toki Town. You're not part of the Toki team. I would feed the pig. Hey, hello? Danny, I yelled, rattling in my chair. I've made my decision! Danny! After a couple of seconds, I heard footsteps echo down the hall towards me. Danny walked through the doorway, an annoyed look on his face. I've made my choice, I said. I'm going to feed the pig. Sounds like you really thought a lot about it since I left you, Danny said sarcastically. I licked my lips. You'd do the same thing if you were in my place. Danny walked behind me. I was in your place once, and I chose differently. My eyes widened, and then Danny wrapped my entire head with a strip of thin cloth, blinding me. I sucked in as much air as I could, but each lung felt empty. I felt Danny cut me free from the chair, and my body sighed as my stiff muscles were released. I rolled my shoulders as my hands were released, and I moaned with relief. I dug my fingers into my back and I stretched, my bones creaking. Keep your blindfold on and follow me, Danny said, pulling me up. My legs shook as I put weight on them, my thighs trembling after the long cemented position. I groped blindly in front of me and found Danny's shoulder. I rested my hands on it as he walked us out of the room. As we entered the hallway, I could suddenly hear sounds I hadn't before. The clink of metal, a long, fleshy tearing noise, something vomiting. These sounds sprang to life in my ears, painting the darkness before my eyes with imaginary scenes of horror. I gripped Danny's shoulder tighter, stumbling behind him, my heart thundering. I see Grab 1, thank you for the follow. I heard something trailing behind us, but Danny didn't seem to notice. Or if he did, he didn't care. Flesh slapped the concrete mere inches behind me, and I suddenly felt hot breath on my neck, and the click of a wet tongue against gums. My breathing became even more labored as fear choked me. "Going to feed the piggy, are ya?" Something whispered in my ear. I felt something press against the back of my head, and I tried not to think about what it might be. It was wet and slimy, and I heard the thing chuckle. I don't know how to read this. "He's a hungry piggy. You make sure he gets his meal now," the thing whispered again. Its voice low and unlike anything I had ever heard before. It was like a series of grunts and moans jumbled together to form broken words. To my relief, I heard the thing retreat back to wherever it had come from, and I continued to follow Danny. He remained silent as we walked, and I could feel shifts in the air. The thick heat gave way to a cooler, almost pleasant temperature, but then it kept decreasing, and soon I was shivering violently against the cold. I couldn't see anything, but I felt a breeze on my face, like we were outside. I didn't hear Danny open any doors, but nothing about this place was natural. It was like reality blurred and bled into itself, like reels of film melting together. Teeth chattering, I was suddenly blasted with intense heat and I gasped. My feet tripped over themselves as the terrain changed, and I was suddenly walking on what felt like warm iron. My ears were filled with the sound of blazing furnaces and the clash of working machinery. I couldn't see it, but I felt like there was a vast open expanse overhead. I smelled ash, tasted dirt on my tongue, sweat already forming along my spine. Suddenly, I crashed into Danny as he came to a halt. I backed up a few paces, quickly, and muttered my apologies. I could hear movement in front of us, a rustle of chains, and an odd clicking sound on the metal floor. Something else, too. Something snorting. And then the room filled with the deafening sound of an immense pig squealing. I covered my ears, head splitting at the high-pitched wail. I grit my teeth as the noise echoed off the metal and faded into a series of snorts and grunts. It sounded absolutely enormous. "I brought another one," Danny announced, a slight tinge of respect lining his voice. "He wants to feed the pig." I waited, expecting to hear some answer, the cloth around my eyes sealing my sight to darkness. I realized my knees were shaking and my back was coated in sweat. I was terrified. "If that is what you wish," Danny said, and I felt him bow under my hand. Apparently, some unseen conversation had just happened, and Danny took my wrist and pushed me forward. "Approach the pig," he instructed. My whole body trembled, and my knees locked into place. Robbed from sight, I raised my hands, trying to get my bearings, the heat and ash filling my head with nausea. I felt like I was going to throw up, my stomach rolling like a dead sea. I didn't know where I was or what horror lay before me. I felt lost and tiny, a fresh splash of tears dripping from my eyes and soaking into the cloth around my face. "Please," I begged, "let me see what's happening." Danny was suddenly behind me, pushing me forward. He guided my hands towards something as we stepped together in unison. Even with the cloth around my face, I could see a giant mass of towering darkness before me. It was a spot of black on an already darkened canvas. As we walked forward, I was suddenly assaulted by a horrendous smell, and I gagged, turning away. Danny's grip tightened and forced me to continue. I could sense something just in front of me, a living, shifting mass of flesh. The smell increased to a wretched level, and I gagged again. The hot air was being blown on my face, a blast of heat that came in repeated short bursts. I vomited into my cloth, the source of the smell stemming from the hot air. I choked as the bile gushed over the fabric, soaking it and momentarily cutting off my oxygen. Danny slapped my hands away, and I took a few seconds to steady my breathing again. I was openingly crying now, fear and misery collapsing my willpower. The wet cloth stunk as I sucked in soggy breaths. My own stomach acid coated my skin, and I begged for all of this to be over. And then something squealed directly in front of me. I felt my bladder go. I was standing before the pig. It was a source of darkness in my obscured vision, A fat, titanic creature that filled my senses with every breath it blew into my face. Danny raised my hands, and suddenly, I was touching the pig's snout. I recoiled immediately, but Danny forced my hands back. Its fur was stiff and brittle, and as my shaking hands explored up its nose, the size of the animal became clear to me. It was gigantic and had weighed over a ton. Its flesh wiggled under my sweating hands, and it opened its mouth slightly. My fingers curled around teeth the size of kitchen knives, and I realized its mouth was absolutely cavernous. The pig squealed again, and I heard its hooves clack against the ground. It sounded like thunder rolling across an open field in the middle of summer. "Take this blindfold off, please," I begged, my legs turning into jelly. Danny had taken a few steps back, and I heard reverence in his voice. "You don't want to do that." I jumped as the pig nudged me with its nose, the wet circle of flesh squishing against the length of my face. I shuddered away, raising my hands and emitting a cry of fear. "Feed the pig," Danny instructed, his voice like cold steel now. "You made your choice. Now live with it. It's the only chance you have of going back. Or maybe the pig won't like how you taste and send you to hell. Only one way to find out." My eyes widened behind the vomit-soaked cloth. "Won't like how I taste?" "Climb into its mouth." My bladder let go again, and I felt warm piss run down my leg. "No, you can't mean..." Danny's voice hardened. "Climb into its mouth and don't stop crawling until it's done with you." "Please," I begged, turning towards Danny's voice, reaching out blindly. "Please, there has to be some other way. Don't make me do this." I was a mess of snot and tears, my words bumbling from my mouth like a toddler. Danny stepped forward and spun me back to face the pig. "Do it! You made your choice. It will all be all over soon. This is your only chance." I could feel the pig breathing onto my face, its snout mere inches from mine. The smell and heat it emitted made me want to vomit again, but I held it back. This was insane. This wasn't happening. My mind spun and twisted in chaos and fear. There had to be some other way. I couldn't do this. I could not do this. Suddenly, I remembered the words of the woman. "Sometimes suffering through your fear is better than suffering for eternity. Be brave." This was my only chance to get back to the world of the living. I had made such a terrible mistake in committing. If I could go back and change my life, I wouldn't have to spend eternity here. I could change my ways, ensure a spot somewhere else, somewhere away from the pig. But what if it decided to send me to hell? How much more suffering could I endure? I had to take the chance. "Please, God," I whispered, taking a step forward. "If you can hear me, please, have mercy on me." My shaking hands reached out for the pig as I grasped its thick fur. I felt it slowly lower its head and open its mouth. It was waiting for me, its thick, hot breath stinking in my nostrils. This was it. No turning back now. I slowly gripped its teeth and pulled myself toward into its jaws. Its head was at a downward angle, and so I immediately fell onto my stomach at a 45-degree angle. Its wet tongue squished over me, and I was shaking so hard I could barely breathe. Tears soaked my blindfold, and my heart crunched against my ribs. I slowly reached forward and found another tooth to grab onto. Gritting my teeth, I pulled my body inward past my knees. The pig raised its head, and I was suddenly completely horizontal on its tongue. Saliva and mucus dripped around me, and the heat was so intense I almost blacked out. My knees clacked against its front teeth as I pulled myself even deeper. Its inner cheeks pressed in around me, squeezing my body like a soaking, fleshy coffin. Crying, terrified, I reached ahead of me and found more teeth. I pulled myself deeper into its mouth, and I felt my feet slide past its lips. My whole body was coated in slime, and I openly wept, grasping in the darkness for another tooth. And that's when the pig started to chew on me. I screamed in crushing agony as my body was compressed between its massive teeth. I heard my legs snap instantly, and felt wet bone pop from my skin. I shook violently as my body spasmed in shock, a mangled twist of blood and pain. Its tongue shifted me in its mouth, and I felt it bite down on my shoulder. My eyes bulged in their sockets as I howled. A hot pillar crunching down on my collarbone. I threw up violently, unable to control myself, the pain overwhelming. Keep crawling. Screaming, bloodshot eyes rolling wildly, I reached forward with my good arm, wetly searching for another tooth. I grit my teeth, blood squirting between them as my fingers wrapped around something solid. The pig bit down again, its tongue twisting my body so its molars could snap down on my knees. The pain brought darkness, but my howling screams forced my eyes to remain open. Jesus, make it stop! I bellowed, trembling hands still gripping the tooth ahead of me. Please, make it fucking stop! I ground my teeth together so hard they cracked, screaming as I slowly pulled my body deeper into the mouth. Something was changing. The tight walls of its throat squeezed my head, and I realized I was almost through. Come on, you motherfucker, come on! I begged, vocal cords cracking. I reached ahead of me and grabbed onto a thick wad of flesh. My head felt like it was splitting, and the pig bit down on me again. I gasped, blood exploding from my mouth in a great gush of red. It had pierced through my stomach, obliterating my insides like bloated noodles. I can read. Darkness rushed in on me, and I was in too much shock to even scream. With the last of my strength, red-ass blackness took me. I pulled myself forward one last time and felt myself slide down its throat. Darkness, falling, screaming. I was screaming. Heat so intense I thought I would melt. Clinging. Something was hammering on a metal. Color and images flew past me so quickly I could only make out their shape. Blood poured into my eyes. I felt like I would keep falling forever. Suddenly, my eyes snapped open and I was falling. My breath rushed back into my lungs in a great wave of purity. My face bounced off wood floor, and I cried out as I felt my nose break. I tasted blood and saw stars. There was a ring of burning fire on my throat, and I felt impossibly thirsty. I had stopped falling. I was lying on the floor. I slowly opened my eyes again, and the darkness began to fade like morning mist under a hot sun. Colors blended together, and shapes came into focus. I was in my woodshed. I reached up around my throat and grasped at the source of the heat. It was the rope I had hung myself with, but now it was severed, releasing me from the grip of death. Relief rolled over me in overwhelming waves of thanks. I curled up on the floor and sobbed, tears dripping from my eyes onto the dirty floor. My body shook, unbroken, as I wept, wet hoarse cries rising from my quivering lips. I had been spared. I was alive again. From my spot on the floor, I turned my eyes upward, my voice cracking. Thank you, God. Oh, thank you. I fell into another fit of uncontrollable sobbing. I promise I won't waste my life again. I promise I'll make things right. I'll fix everything. I don't know how long it was before I got up. Time seemed to stretch for eternity. My mind refused to rebuild, the horrors of what I had just witnessed crushing me. But I knew I would do everything I could to make the most out of my life. I was going to live every day to the fullest. I would devote myself to helping others in dark times. I would reach out to as many Kermits as I could and try to save them from what awaited on the other side. I didn't want anyone else to have to witness the horrors of Kermitting. I don't want anyone else to have to feed the pig. That was a very long story, but my God, was that very good. Jesus Christ. And that was Feed the Pig. That was phenomenal. Oh my gosh. I was not expecting that to be as good as it was. Yeah, that was really good. Oh my God. Because I have been reading for a while, because I was spoopy. Let's take a mental break. I don't want to binge all of these. Let's play some comfy music for a little bit. We're not ending stream, but I do want to give us a mental break. So let's play some comfy music. really quickly, and let's talk. Let's talk about it. I think it'd be a good idea to talk about it, right? Yeah. This is the deepest story I've ever heard. Is this why some religions don't eat pork? Oh my god, I don't think that's appropriate. The ultimate anti... For real! Wow, okay. One thing, Oh, Levi, I'm glad that you're okay now, but please do not share such sensitive information like that in the chat. We do have a very strict no trauma dumping or any kind of thing like that in the chat. First and final warning. But yes, I'm glad that you're safe. It's hard to write details of what actually happened. Kudos to the writer. Yeah, I have a lot that I want to talk about from that creepypasta. Yeah, you're fine, Levi. That's why I say it's okay, because it is related to the story. But sometimes some information about yourself is better not shared. Privacy should be valued, you know. But as I was saying, there was a lot of things in my mind that went through while reading it. First and foremost, the writing. I really like this style of writing. And by that I mean, my favorite style of writing to read is like, it's really descriptive without using words you're unfamiliar with. They don't do like a series of eloquently fucking stringed descriptions of things. It's just point blank, very direct, very easy to understand descriptions that paint a very, very, you know, specific picture. I like stuff like that a lot, and so the writing was fantastic. And second, who hurt them? Well, is this author okay? Is this writer okay? How did they come up with something like this? What went through their brain to think of this? Are they okay? Oh, oh my god. Are they okay? I'm going to have nightmares. I do plan on ending stream with comfy talk. We're gonna be looking at some comfy videos, cute animal videos, and I'll be singing some comfy lullabies for you guys to help you guys sleep, so don't worry. That creepypasta for some reason to me doesn't feel like a fake story, you know? I mean, stuff like that, like, you know, what is it called? People who claim to have like after-death experiences, I think that's what they're called, post-death experiences. You can't prove them wrong, you can't prove them right. It's one of those things. I personally think that the story is fiction, but again, you can't prove that. How they're as happy as life they possibly can because this shit is horrific. Yeah, that was horrific. Okay, and can we just talk about how, yes, it was very gory, but if something was gonna traumatize me from this story, it's not the pig, it's not the eating, it's not any of that. Why did he come ants? Why did he come dead ants? What goes through your brain to write that? I don't understand. Why did he come ants? Also, John BTB, I miss this, but thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to Tookie-tan. You're not part of the Tookie team. That was disturbing on a different level. Y'all, I was reading it and I was like, I cannot say that out loud. There was a lot of things I had to skip actually. Cause I don't want TOS to fucking smite me. But what a graphic, what a graphic creepypasta. Maybe he's a fan of ants. I don't like that. Because it's a Lovecraft. That was the pig's fault. Why did the pig think that was a good idea for life? That is the pig's fault. Dude, the pig is fucked up. Oh my god. Your eyes are so pretty. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Dioman. Thank you. But yeah, that was something. I actually really like that creepypasta. Maybe the next creepypasta we read won't be as intense. Let's continue chatting for a little bit. But I will say, I'm gonna try and look for like shorter ones because that one was really long and I don't want to read a really long one. Let's look through. Thank you for the heptad, Chiruko. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, this one's really short. We can read that one. And then trying to find ones from people who haven't, like, I haven't read theirs yet, their submissions yet. You know? Ome. This is probably like a good way to scare somebody for not, you know? For not, you know? Those you read, are they books or online? They're online. These are all just creepy pastas, just things people post online. Oh, this one is slightly long, but it looks really interesting. So I might read this one. But let's read that after we read a couple short ones. Alright. Window creeper. This one sounds cool. Where can I find them? If you join our Discord server, here, right here, these were all posted in the Toki text chat channel, and all the links will be there. Oh, this one's pretty short. Okay. Part of me was wanting to make a vor joke during the feeding part, but the majority of you... Not gonna lie, every time he talked about vomiting or pissing, I had to like use everything in my willpower to not be like hot. What is wrong with us? Also, thank you for the stretch, J-Cart. Let me crack my back, actually. Gonna reread then who was phone to myself to get that out of my head. Wait, let me read that funny one that you sent. Uxie, you sent a funny one, right? Here. So you're with your honey and you're making out when the phone rings. You answer. In it, the voice is, "What are you doing with my daughter?" You tell your girl and she say, "My phone is dead. My dad is dead." Then who was phone? Why is that so good? Hold on, let me show you guys. That's so good. Hold on. Here you guys go. So you're with your honey and you're making out when the phone rings. You answer, and then the voice is, "What are you doing with my daughter?" You tell your girl and she say, "My dad is dead." Then who was phone? The pig ate all those disgusting fluids. Poor pig. For real. Poor pig. But the pig still found it delicious because he didn't get sent to hell. Wasn't sure if my autocorrect would let me. For permitting. Ah, I see. And you're absolutely right, Zero. I agree with you. Oh, great. Thanks. Yeah, no problem, yo, man. Don't lump us in with your degeneracy. I mean, if you watch my streams, if you enjoy my streams to any extent, aren't you part of the degeneracy? Maybe that was a wrong number. But who was phone? Who was phone? You never know. I need to know these answers. Oh, I hit the wrong thing. Alright. Who was phone? The world may never know. I love those shit posts, like spooky. Do you guys remember those chain emails that were like rampant in like early 2000s, 2010s? Where it's like, send this to 5 people at 3:45 in the morning, and it'll like show a spooky photo. This girl will show up in your room. No, not the viruses, like the chain email. Not the viruses. Like the chain emails. You still see that every once in a while in form of comments. Really? People still do that? It was like, this is Rebecca. Rebecca had no friends. One day she went to a birthday party at a pool and no one cared about her and she drowned and no one tried to save her. If you don't post this to 5 other people before midnight tonight, Rebecca will come to your room with a knife. Those kind of ones. Yeah, novelties of the 2000s. Not gonna lie, those terrified me as a kid. I never did them because I knew they weren't real. But okay, here's the thing. I don't believe in like... Let's just say I'm not superstitious. So, like, stuff like ghosts and stuff don't really scare me in reality. But I'm just a pussy and I'm paranoid. And, like, even though I don't think it's real, just the idea, like, just the image of it scares me. Like, a scary image. And I won't be able to sleep at night. And so, like, those things scared me so bad as a kid. Because I know there's not going to be a clown that shows up in my room at 2 in the morning. But that doesn't mean I'm still scared. If anybody's drowning in the pool, I don't know anybody who would save them. Doesn't matter if you hate them or not. Well, you should save people, or at least try to save someone drowning. The only one I remember was if you order McDonald's at 3 a.m., you will see Among Us. What? What? Or send these to 5 people and you'll get lucky. Yeah. Those. Did you know there's a TikTok version of that now where it's like don't scroll past this sound. Like using this sound will give you good. It's so stupid. It's all like 16-year-olds using it. If Rebecca comes, then I'ma just say, "Who you? You nobody." Oh shit, damn. Really gave him the 1-2. Little yet or tiny yet? No, I was never little. Always 6'7". Okay, let Rebecca come. Let me fight her. Ghost is much transparent at least. Oh my god, Abby. Even before my ghost encounter, I was still too scared to do Bloody Mary when all my... Same! I know Bloody Mary's not real, but... if today you asked me to do Bloody Mary, I wouldn't! I can't! I'm such a pussy! Yeah, I ain't trying to fucking risk it. Shut the fuck up. I like you even more now, yeah? No! I was once outside at 4 a.m. and a creepy dude was following me. No, fuck that shit. People scare me way more than the premise of ghosts and stuff. So if we read something and it's like realistic, like it's about a murderer or like a psychopath, I'm definitely not sleeping. And I'm acting like a bumbling fucker right now. I guarantee you, after reading all these creepypastas, I'm gonna be scared to go to sleep tonight. So if anybody wants to stay up playing, I don't know, video games with me, hit me. 6'7" out of the womb, for real, you know it. I like Giant Bunny. Heck yeah, I'm a behemoth. I've said Biggie Smalls in front of a mirror, which is a South Park parody of the Bloody Mary thing. If a girl showed up in my room, I'll keep saying, "Jenny, are you okay? Are you?" Annie, are you okay? Are you okay, Annie? Yeah, a person can stab you. A ghost can't do shit. True. Can one of my mods ban the phrase "kill me self"? Cause I don't know why that's not already a banned phrase. Hey, I can do shit. Oh no, not the neighborhood ghost stepping up to the plate. Oh my gosh. Oh my bad. No, you're fine. It's just that like that sentence is fine, but out of context, it is. What about the past tense? Killed. I just feel like that should go through moderation first. That's weird. Okay. Thank you for checking me, Nokaro. Thank you. Much appreciated. Just out of context or a quick glance at it it's a spicy meatball, you know? Alright. Alright, let's read these short ones now. This one is called This New Old House. And I think this was submitted by... I should say who submitted them. This one, I think, was No... Punch? Nope. Where is it? It was Abby! Abby submitted this one. So let's read this one. Touchy subject. Yeah. I just want to be safe. Let's get back to reading. Let's not play super spooky music. Let's play the anime music box one. Because this one is still kind of spooky without being spooky, you know? Alright. This New Old House. This one's really short, so. This new old house. We bought an old house, my boyfriend and I. He's in charge of the new construction, converting the kitchen into the master room, for instance, while I'm on wallpaper removal duty. The previous owner papered every wall and ceiling. Removing it is brutal, but oddly satisfying. The best feeling is getting a long peel, similar to your skin when you're peeling from a sunburn. I don't know about you, but I kind of make a game of peeling, on the hunt for the longest piece before it rips. Under a corner section of paper in every room is a person's name and a date. Curiosity got the best of me one night when I googled one of the names and discovered the person was actually a missing person, the missing date matching the date underneath the wallpaper. The next day, I made a list of all the names and dates. Sure enough, each name was for a missing person with dates to match. We notified the police, who naturally sent out the crime scene team. I overheard one text say, "Yup, it's human." Human? What's human? Ma'am, where is the material you removed from the walls already? This isn't wallpaper you were removing. Dun dun dun! Get it? The walls are made of people. It's Attack on Titan! Sorry, that wasn't funny. Tonight be a spoopy night, I guess. Yeah, hi Kaya, welcome to the stream. Welcome, welcome. Alright. It is funny. But the wallpaper was not flesh. Oh wait, I'm thinking of a movie. 1A True Story. Oh, I don't like true stories. That's the terrible... That is the one best way to keep me awake at night. Preface any story with, "This is based on true events." Nope. 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 I'm out. I'm so fucking out. Alright, let's get to the next one. This one's also pretty short. Hold on. Wait. I think this is also from Zero. Let's see if I can grab one that's not from Zero. Not because Zero isn't amazing, but because I think I've read a bunch from Zero. How long is this one? Oh, this one's really short. Let's read this one from Minukaro. Gateway of the Mind. What do you mean, X? I only speak the truth, for I am the truth bunny. The OP said it was fake, so there's that at least. Oh, I'm glad that it's fake. If it wasn't fake, I'd be losing my shit. True stories I love? No, I don't like true stories. No. Fuck that shit. Fuck that shit, I'm out. Alright. Let us read Gateway of the Mind. In 1983, a team of deeply pious scientists conducted a radical experiment in an undisclosed facility. The scientists had theorized that a human without access to any senses or ways to perceive stimuli would be able to perceive the presence of God. Oh, I already know where this is going. They believed that the five senses clouded our awareness of eternity, and without them, a human could actually establish contact with God by thought. An elderly man who claimed to have nothing left to live for was the only test subject to volunteer. To purge him of all his senses, the scientists performed a complex operation in which every sensory nerve connection to the brain was surgically severed. Although the test subject retained full muscular function, he could not see, hear, taste, smell, or feel. With no possible way to communicate with or even sense the outside world, he was alone with his thoughts. Scientists monitored him as he spoke aloud about his state of mind in jumbled, slurred sentences that he couldn't even hear. After 4 days, the man claimed to be hearing hushed, unintelligible voices in his head. Assuming it was an onset of psychosis, the scientists paid little attention to the man's concerns. 2 days later, the man cried that he could hear his dead wife speaking with him, and even more, he could communicate back. The scientists were intrigued, but were not convinced until the subjects started naming dead relatives of the scientists. He repeated personal information to the scientists that only their dead spouses and parents would have known. At this point, a sizable portion of scientists left the study. After a week of conversing with the deceased through his thoughts, the subject became distressed, saying the voices were overwhelming. In every waking moment, his consciousness was bombarded by hundreds of voices that refused to leave him alone. He frequently threw himself against the wall, trying to elicit a pain response. He begged the scientists for sedatives, so he could escape the voices by sleeping. This tactic worked for 3 days, until he started having severe night terrors. The subject repeatedly said that he could see and hear the deceased in his dreams. Only a day later, the subject began to scream and claw at his non-functional eyes, hoping to sense something in the physical world. The hysterical subject now said the voices of the dead were deafening and hostile, speaking of hell and the end of the world. At one point, he yelled, "No heaven, no forgiveness," for 5 hours straight. He continually begged to be killed, but the scientists were convinced that he was close to establishing contact with God. After another day, the subject could no longer form coherent sentences. Seemingly mad, he started to bite off chunks of flesh from his arm. The scientists rushed into the test chamber and restrained him to a table so he could not kill himself. After a few hours of being tied down, the subject halted his struggling and screaming. He stared blankly at the ceiling as teardrops silently streaked across his face. For 2 weeks, the subject had to be manually rehydrated due to the constant crying. Eventually, he turned his head and, despite his blindness, made focused eye contact with the scientist for the first time in the study. He whispered, "I have spoken with God, and he has abandoned us." And his vital signs stopped. There was no apparent cause of death. Well, hot damn! Hot damn! Okay, that one was pretty good. Oh, that's some stuff. That's a good way to put it. That's some stuff. Oh my gosh. That was some stuff. That's fun. Yeah, very fun, Pog. But you know those chambers that help you like lose your senses? Those floating pods. Do you know what I'm talking about? Don't those terrify you? Has anyone in chat tried one of those? Those terrify me. The idea of going into one and like you're floating in the water and like it's really quiet and it's really dark. Sensory deprivation, yeah. Yeah, I don't. Oh, no, 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 no. No, 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 no. You want to try one? I would go insane. I would go insane. I've tried it. Did you like it? I would like it if it wasn't so dark. I like the silence. I like everything else. But it's so... I heard it's like pitch fucking black. Just me and my thoughts for an hour. So no, no, no. I would sleep like a log. Want to try one but be scared though? It seems so scary. If it just wasn't so fucking dark. Because I heard like if you put your hand in front of your face, you can't see it. Like it's that dark. I'm not about that. Can't it be like dim candlelight, you know? No dim candlelight. It's in salt water. I think you always float, so you can fall asleep in it. Which yeah, it sounds nice, but not when it's that dark. That's so unnerving. So you know, paint looks dark, but it's different and it looks like hollow. I liked it. Agataurus, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to Tookie-tan. You're now part of the Tookie team. There's another short one I posted above that one. Would you like me to read that? Chainsaw suit. Oh boy! Chainsaws! How am I supposed to read this? Do I have to give everyone different voices? Don't know if I'll even sleep floating. I was on 24-hour awake in dark room. Why? Alright, let's read this one. Alright, so this one seems to mimic a... like a series of like a forum. Yeah, this is a forum. And so I'm gonna try my best to give everyone different voices so it's easier to keep track of everyone, but I cannot promise that, okay? Maybe I can just show you guys like a very small window right here. So this is so you guys can see like the different people. I know it's really small, but bear with me, okay? So Skyshale. Subject: Candle Cove local kids show. Who was phone? Shut the fuck up. I have a horror dream of mine, but not sure if I should type it out. I forgot Yen just wanted a horror story, so a dream would have fit the bill. It would have, absolutely. Feel free to share it in the Discord anyways. Hi, Kiros, welcome in. I'm gonna start saying that. Then who was phone? Pejuni, anong anong. I'm not evil. I might be a little edgy, but we're just reading scary stories. Oh, let me update this. This one's called Net Nostalgia Forum. Net Nostalgia Forum. Television. Local. Okay. That's not really a title, but you know what I mean. Okay, let's read this. Does anyone remember this kids show? It was called Candle Cove, and I must have been 6 or 7. I never found reference to it anywhere, so I think it was on local station around 1971 or 1972. I lived in Ironton at the time. I don't remember which station, but I do remember it was on at a weird time, like 4 p.m. It seems really familiar to me. I grew up outside of Ashland and was 9 years old in 72. Candle Cove. Was it about pirates? I remember a pirate marionette at the mouth of a cave talking to a little girl. Yes, okay, I'm not crazy. I remember Pirate Percy. I was always kind of scared of him. He looked like he was built from parts of other dolls. Real low budget. His head was an old porcelain baby doll. Looked like an antique that didn't belong on the body. I don't remember what station this was. I don't think it was WTSF though. Sorry to resurrect this old thread, but I know exactly what show you mean. Skyshale. I think Candle Cove ran for only a couple months in 71, not 72. I was 12 and I watched it a few times with my brother. It was Channel 58, whatever station that was. My mom will let me switch to it after the news. Let me see what I remember. It took place in Candle Cove, and it was about a little girl who imagined herself to be friends with pirates. The pirate ship was called the Laughingstock, and Pirate Percy wasn't a very good pirate because he got scared too easily, and there was calliope music constantly playing. Don't remember the girl's name, Janice or Jade or something. Think it was Janice. Thank you, Jaren. Memories flooded back when you mentioned the Laughingstock in Channel 58. I remember the bow of the ship was a wooden smiling face, with the lower jaw submerged. It looked like it was swallowing the sea, and it had that awful Edwin voice and laugh. I especially remember how jarring it was when they switched from the wooden plastic model to the foam puppet version of the head that talked. Who the fuck is Mike? Okay, Mike is from earlier. Haha, I remember now too. Do you remember this part, Skyshell? You have to go inside. Ugh, Mike, I got a chill reading that. Yes, I remember. That's what the ship always told Percy when there was a spooky place he had to go in, like a cave or a dark room where the treasure was. And the camera would push in on the Laughingstock's face with each pause. You have to go inside. With his 2 eyes askew and that flopping foam jaw and the fishing line that opened and closed it. Ugh, it just looked so cheap and awful. You guys remember the villain? He had a face that was just a handlebar mustache above really tall, narrow teeth. I honestly thought the villain was Pirate Percy. I was about 5 when the show was on. Nightmare fuel. That wasn't the villain. The puppet with the mustache. That was the villain's sidekick. Horace Horrible. He had a monocle too, but it was on top of the mustache. I used to think that meant he had only one eye. But yeah, the villain was another marionette. The Skin Taker. I can't believe what they let us watch back then. Jesus Christ. The Skin Taker. What kind of a kid show were we watching? I seriously could not look at the screen when the Skin Taker showed up. He just descended out of nowhere on his strings. Just a dirty skeleton wearing the brown top hat and cape. And his glass eye that were too big for his skull. Christ almighty. Wasn't his top hat and cloak all sewn up crazily? Was that supposed to be children's skin? Yeah, I think so. Remember his mouth didn't open and close. His jaw just slid back and forth. I remember the little girl said, "Why does your mouth move like that?" And the skin taker didn't look at the girl, but at the camera and said, "To grind your skin." I'm so relieved that other people remember this terrible show. I used to have this awful memory, a bad dream I had where the opening jingle ended, the show faded in from black, and all the characters were there, but the camera was just cutting to each of their faces, and they were just screaming. And the puppets and marionettes were flailing spastically, and just all screaming, screaming. The girl was just moaning and crying like she had been through hours of this. I woke up many times from that nightmare. I used to wet the bed when I had it. I don't think that was a dream. I remember that. I remember that was an episode. No, not possible. There was no plot or anything. I mean, literally just standing in place crying and screaming for the whole show. Maybe I'm manufacturing the memory because you said that, but I swear to God I remember seeing what you described. They just scream. Oh God, yes, the little girl Janice. I remember seeing her shake, and the skin taker screaming through his gnashing teeth, his jaw careening so wildly I thought it would come off its wire hinges. I turned it off, and it was the last time I watched. I ran to tell my brother, and we didn't have the courage to turn it back on. I visited my mom today at the nursing home. I asked her about when I was little, in the early 70s, when I was 8 or 9, and if she remembered a kids show, Candle Cove. She said she was surprised I could remember that, and I asked why. And she said, "Because I used to think it was so strange that you said, 'I'm gonna go watch Candle Cove now, Mom,' and then you would turn the TV to static and just watch dead air for 30 minutes. You had a big imagination with your little pirate show." Oops, wrong thing. Wow. I think the scariest cliche, or one of the scariest cliches in horror, are children. Children are terrifying. That was a good one. I like that a lot. Oh my god. Who is gaslighting in that forum? Oh my gosh. That is terrifying. My gooseness. No, thank you. Fuck that shit. Fuck that shit, I'm out. I generally don't fucking know, and it's a beauty of the internet. Amazing. Alright. Let's read. Oh! Reaper's Abyss and Enhanced Cream. Thank you so much for the follows. Welcome to Toki Tan. You're not part of the Toki team. And Minakaro, thank you for the lurk. Luckily, the childhood show I want to track down was not nearly as messed up. Yeah, luckily. Parents don't know shows existed because all they see is static creepy. I like that interpretation. That's funny. Alright, we've been streaming for almost 3 hours now. Let's see. Valico, real horror story. Apology for bad English. Where were you when Club Penguin died? I was at house eating Dorito when phone ring. Club Penguin is kill. No. Why is that so funny? Okay. Let me copy a couple more of these links, and then I want to pick out some to read. This one? And let's grab this one. There's a League of Legends one that I want to read. It looks like a shit post. Lysavest? Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to Toki Tan. You're not part of the Toki team. Welcome in. Alright. Let's read this League of Legends one. I think this will be funny. Hi, Mr. Shumish! That just reminds me of the candy that I used to have, not constantly, but I had enough and I was all Hey, yeah, and I just want to say I'm really sorry about earlier, and I was just like, if I leave her... No! Again, I literally said it was fine, so you're fine. Club Penguin, like Toontown, just a memory. Still typing my dream part of me. Don't worry about it, Abby. After spending 30 minutes, I finally got this Electroculus. Bro, those bitches do be super hard to get. Congratulations. Sorry, I just feel bad. Well, there's no reason to feel bad because the apology has already been accepted and we've already moved on. Alright. Let us read our next story. I don't want to receive honor anymore. This one is about League of Legends. I love League of Legends. And so hopefully this is not actually scary. Before reading this, I just want to clarify that this post is not an attack on the honor system of League of Legends. It is more of a personal statement. So for those of you that don't play League of Legends, this one might not make as much sense, but my client crashed midway through a game 2 days ago, and I was feeling pretty tired, so I logged off and went to sleep. After relogging today, I noticed that I had received an honor from that game, the honorable opponent one, to be exact. Oh, this was back when you can honor an opponent. Don't forget. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. I don't want to receive honor anymore. Thank you, thank you. I originally thought someone DDoSed it, but the fact that I received honor from it was weird. I couldn't really remember what the game was about, since it was so short. But luckily, I had the recording of it on my LOL replay, despite it not showing up on my match history. Hi, Dirty Garden Tool, welcome in. I played Nocturne Jungle for that game, like I usually do. More recently now because of the new skin, and I had a pretty standard build for about 15 minutes, which was a Madred's Razor, some boots, a Vamp Scepter, and a few health pots up until the point that my client crashed. Upon rewatching it, I realized off the bat that something was off about the game. The enemy jungler never connected. In the loading screen, his or her name never appeared. Typical, I thought. The name is probably in another language. But after the screen loaded, I saw that he simply had no name. Stranger yet, he was also a Nocturne player. From the beginning, he sat still in his base. I might as well describe to you what happened during the game. We started out normally, and I jungled and ganked, but no one died for the first 15 minutes or so. Everyone was reasonably leveled and farmed, with every player being in the 6 to 10 level range, save for the enemy Nocturne. It was at 15-13 when I used my ultimate to get what seemed to be an assured kill on the enemy Soraka. This is when the game crashed. Or, when I thought it crashed. My recorder thought otherwise. In the replay, the screen glitched for about 10 seconds after I ulted her, with everything freezing in place. When I was actually playing the game, it was during this glitch that my client froze and closed on me. But in the replay, after the glitch, it showed us all still playing. This really freaked me out, but I kept watching. Apparently my character secured the kill on the Soraka, recalled and continued to jungle. That's when I read the eerie message. Blank has reconnected. The no-name jungler on the other team got back into the game somehow and started to jungle. I felt uneasy watching him. The other lanes kept at each other, and it didn't take me long to figure out the next oddity. The Soraka I had killed never respawned. When I pressed tab to see the death timer, there was none. She just stayed dead. An ally has been slain. This time someone on my team died, the Ezreal, and it was the enemy Nocturne who killed him. He never respawned either. I froze in my chair, watching people die one by one, each death leaving a lasting impression on me. The Nocturne that I was supposedly playing did everything I would have done, which weirded me out even further. It was almost like I was still playing in that match. After each player died, none would respawn. I was always on edge whenever I saw my character getting low on health, to the point that I was gripping my desk. I can't really explain why, but it's a nerve-wracking feeling knowing that if your character died, they wouldn't come back. I kept telling myself it was a glitch, but after what happened next, I found it hard to. There were only 3 people left. Me, the no-name Nocturne, and the enemy mid laner, a Diana. At this point, my eyes were glued to the screen, and I couldn't help but watch as my character pursued her. This was the death that disturbed me the most. My character ulted towards her, as I normally would have done, and met her at her Wraith camp. Just as my character got there, I saw the enemy Nocturne standing still in the passage to their red buff. He just stood there, and watched my Nocturne destroy the enemy Diana. After her death, everything was still. The minions didn't move, the projectiles were frozen in place, along with my character. Everything was frozen except the no-name jungler. He moved towards me and paused for a second. The timer in the recording was still going. Curious as to why he just stood there, I checked my settings on the recording. The chat box was unchecked. I remembered my fingers shaking a bit as I clicked to check it. The no-name jungler had been typing throughout the entire match after the apparent crash. All he said over and over, every single minute was, "Kill them all, kill them all," up until I had killed Diana. I felt my heart sink when I read those words, decorated across my screen. What he had soon said after was what sent chills throughout my entire body. "Thank you for your assistance." And that's when the game ended. No Nexus was destroyed, no surrender vote cast. It just ended. Horrified at what I had witnessed, I immediately took down the names of everyone in that game. After a bit of searching, I found that none of them played another game after that one. I'm still checking every few minutes, hoping that one of them will get in a game soon. I don't really know what happened to those people, and I don't think I want to know. I have since deleted the recording from my computer. I don't want anything to do with that replay. The image of seeing the honorable opponent message on my screen from logging in is still burned in my head. Never have I felt so undeserving. That was an actual creepypasta. I thought this was gonna be a shitpost. That was like an actual well-written thing. If you die in the game, you die in real life. SAO moment for real, dog. For real. For real. Oh, this one! You sent the search and rescue officer from the US Forest Service. I have some stories to tell. I've read this one before. This one's really good. Why does it smell like food in the house? It's 10 p.m. Who's making food? Nani? I want to look through the honest one. Honestly, I would have noped out if a big game as big as LOL had such a game break, for real. I thought it was gonna reveal that the Nocturne was a cosmic entity and you still lose to the BS. That is so fire. I love that one. It was such an inspiration for my own horror writing. It's really good. It's really... like... It's such a tense horror. Excuse me, I just burped. Let me see if I can read a couple other short ones. And then we'll see if we can get to that one. Ooh, this one's really long. Oh my god, there's so many. Hold on. Rito balanced. For real. I don't know anything about League, but that had me on the edge of my seat, which goes to show it was really good. For real. My sister's messaging me. My sister's watching my stream. Hi, honey. I was like, why does this smell like food? And my sister responded, because food has been made. Because she just got home from work. Everyone in chat say, welcome home, Sister Toki. Welcome home, Sister Toki. I wish her a good dinner. Alright, let's see what else I can eat. Or not eat. Read. I kind of want to read this one. He told me not even the blind see black. That's a really good title, so I want to read this one. He told me that not even the blind see black. Is that correct grammar? I mean, your brain's eating it. True, my brain is eating. This does have a self-harm warning. So I will say right now, self-harm warning. I don't know to what extent, but the tag says self-harm. So please, continue watching the stream with caution. Alright, let's read this one. This one's kind of short. Not too short. I lied, it's pretty long. Oh my god, I thought it was shorter. But the title is really interesting. Alright. I sank the baskets into the deep fryer inside. It was nearly over. Another 10-hour shift just about in the books. I looked at my arms. After 5 years in the fast food, they were thoroughly pocked. Pocked? With grease scars. I've never heard that word before. Pocked? Pocked with grease stars. Stars? Scars. Oh my god, I'm losing my mind. Weren't scars supposed to have interesting stories? I guess they seldom ever do. However, deep fryer scars are a special kind of uninteresting. Nights like these always get me too existential for my own good. Nights like these always make me ponder the point of it all. A few bits of grease jumped to stain my blue apron. Excuse me. Someone was at the counter, but I still stared straight into space. The roar of the fryer seemed to grow as I further contemplated the point of my existence, the same way I typically do when it's a Friday night and I'm closing at Culver's. Excuse me. I shook myself from my trance and walked to the counter. Hi, can I help you? The man at the counter wore a plain purple shirt with grease stains where his belly ballooned the fabric tight. Yeah, I ordered a butter burger. Yes, sir. Is that not what you got? No, butter burgers are supposed to be made with butter. I get them without cheese because I can taste the buttery cream that way. There was no butter. It was made the same as all the others. Fresh butter on top. I'm sure of it. You're not hearing me. I love cheese. I get the burger without it so I can taste the cream. There was no cream. I'd fucking know. Okay. I scratched my head. I understand. Where's the burger? What do you mean? I ate it. But it wasn't to your liking? Didn't your dad teach you not to talk back? You're not a pretty enough girl to work anywhere else. Oh my god, wow, what a dick. You're not a pretty enough girl to work anywhere else, so take this to heart. When you get a customer's order wrong, do you know what you do? You apologize and make it right. Every time I see you in here, I figure my order will be fucked up. I didn't recognize the man, which years ago I would have found strange. But now the past always felt foggy. Some mixture of depression and apathy had long turned my memory into mush. Some nickname was coming back to me though. My coworkers had called some obnoxious customer Big Barney. So, are you going to do that? He pointed past me to the grill. Make it right. I was managing that night. I could have kicked him out. I could have told him to shove it. But I'd worked in customer service long enough to know the difference between those who were looking for free food and those who were looking for a fight. Big Barney was looking for both. If I fired back, out his phone would come. Then he'd play the victim and start on some indignant rant about food service workers and women as he filmed my face. I couldn't do that now. I just wanted to go home. Coming right up, I said. When the burger was done and on the bun, I flattened a flat spatula with as much butter as it could hold and slapped it on the patty. Big Barney was nodding and licking his lips as he watched from the counter. Here you go. He took the bag and started towards his booth. As if he read my thoughts from earlier, he turned and spoke like he just made a discovery. You know? He wiggled his finger at me. You should commit. I stared at the burger greased bag. He held it in both sets of fingers, his arms tucked like a T-Rex above his big belly. You're well on your way, I said quietly. What? I said have a good day. He grunted and sat, and I went back to the fryer, filled with a determinacy to live longer and kinder than Big Barney. That night was memorable on two fronts. It was also then that I had first noticed the man. I was walking to my car when he was waiting at the bus stop. He washed his feet. Oh, where'd it go? He washed his feet as he playfully kicked something on the sidewalk. When I got closer, I saw that he was wearing a bowler hat and long wool slacks. But he didn't look like one of those LARPers with a body odor problem. He was tan. I've never seen that word before. Sinewy? And strong. In the streetlight, I could see his veins roping up his arms like vines. He suddenly looked up at me in alarm, as if he didn't expect to see anyone out. I wheeled around, thinking his attention must be focused on something behind me, but there was nothing out of the ordinary. He kept staring at me as I got to my car. My key fob was long dead, and I kept my eyes on the man and scratched the door as I tried to fit my key in the lock blind. Sinewy? Sinewy. What does sinewy mean? Sinew? A piece of tough fibrous... Oh. Oh. Okay. Sinewy. That's a word. Something just felt off. The way his head snapped up to attention. It was like he recognized me. I started driving home in the opposite direction. I didn't want him to have the slightest idea where I lived. But 5 minutes later, when I turned onto the dark side streets, I slowly hit the brakes. There, a mile away from the bus stop, was Bowler Hat Man. He was walking down the sidewalk the same direction I was driving, his hands in his pockets, his arms swaying with each long stride. He couldn't have gotten there that fast even if he'd sprinted. I took an abrupt left before he could turn to see me and drove faster. It was too long of a shift and I was too tired to fret on something so strange. The supernatural man could murder me in my sleep for all I cared. I was going home and I was going to bed. I was living with my parents, but ever since I became independent, they spent their summers traveling the country in a van while I looked after their little two-story. I parked in the driveway and back, but when I was halfway to the house, I paused. The back door was slightly ajar. My memories may be shit, but I was methodical when it came to locking doors. Then again, could I have left it open? I tried to remember locking it, but of course I couldn't. It was like asking whether I put on my left or right shoe first before leaving for work. It was a small house to search, and it was blessedly empty. Still, I couldn't sleep. I spent the whole night awake, watching TV. At some point, my vision became hazy, like there was a black smoke just in front of my eyes. I waved it away, settled back into my seat. A week passed and I forgot about the bowler hat man entirely. The days kept blending into a smog of waking, going to work, and trying to find time after chores to feel like I had some sort of life. I wanted out. I wanted out of life itself. On one of those days, instead of going straight home after work, I stopped at a sporting goods store. I bought a little rifle, a .22 LR. It would be quiet, and more importantly, it would be clean. It would leave just a little hole in my head. The round wasn't powerful enough to break through my skull, so it would dance around the inside of my head instead. Perfect. My dad kept a few hunting rifles around, but I couldn't use his guns. I wasn't going to make anyone more guilty than they'd already feel. Now all I needed was the inspiration to pull the trigger. About 3 weeks after I bought the gun, I was scrolling through my phone when a headline made me stop. Male Karen chokes to death on chimichanga while berating waitstaff. I frowned and played the video. There was Big Barney, sitting in a booth alone. He was wearing the same goddamn shirt. His arms were giggling wildly as he screamed. "All you can eat means all you can eat," he screamed. "Sir, that standard applies to one meal only." "What does this look like?" "This is not your first meal. You came in 4 hours ago. We need the—" "Fuck you, it's not. This is one meal," he said as if it were Sparta and started ferociously shoving the deep-fried burrito in his mouth. He chomped crazily like an animal. His eyes were vicious, but suddenly they became filled with terror, and he grabbed his swollen throat. "Oh my god, he's choking!" The audio became a great clamor of voices, and the view of the camera was blocked by good Samaritans racing to perform the Heimlich. In the comments, there was a link to the news article. I read that he died after a failed tracheotomy. That was it. He was dead. Huh, I said to myself. Do you ever feel like the universe has given you the go-ahead? Like it shot you a wink in the form of a coincidence? Well, I wondered, who do I have to outlive now? The next day at work, I felt a kind of relief. Relief that I was exiting this world any day now. I knew that I should feel fear. I thought about all the countless times I was terrified I was going to die. Severe turbulence, nights after scary movies as a kid, the time the thick cheese of a deep dish pizza snaked into my trachea on its descent to my stomach. Now death was here, and I was his harbinger. And wouldn't you know it, I didn't feel a thing. But then it happened again. My vision seemed obscured. As I stared at the fryer, I waved my hand in front of my face. I swear, something like ink was leaking from my eyes. When I got home, the door was ajar again. I was surprised to feel a slight twinge of fear, but I shrugged, figuring I left it unlocked. It just went to show how far I'd fallen from the ways of who I used to be. I poured a drink. Tonight, I thought and curled up on the couch. Tonight was the night. I don't know how many drinks I had, but at some point, I woke in the dark. I thought I'd left the lights on and looked into the kitchen. When I saw that the clock was dead, I realized the power must be out. Just then I froze. There were footsteps upstairs. They were slow, careful, searching. They were just above me. My new gun was in my first level bedroom. I stood from the couch still slightly drunk and tiptoed with my heart in my throat. I loaded a cartridge and leaned in the doorframe. Barrel pointed towards the stairs. The steps creaked more as whoever it was moved from my parents' carpeted bedroom and into the barewood hall. There were 3 stairs before the staircase turned at a landing and descended the rest of the way to the living room. Thump. I stepped down the first stair. Thump. I steadied my breathing. I made sure the safety was off. Thump. The footsteps paused, and I held my breath. Suddenly, I saw a figure come into view. It was dark, but the memory of the man raced back. In the black, I could see the shape of a bowler hat. He slowly turned his head and looked straight at me. "Stop!" I yelled. "Stop or I'll shoot!" He suddenly threw himself down the stairs fast. The sound of his steps thundered now. "Stop!" He was coming right towards me. "Stop!" I closed my eyes and I pulled the trigger. I kept them closed, the gun trembling in my hands now. When there was a great thud on the floor, I opened them. The man with the bowler hat lay just in front of me, sprawled across the floor. Oh my god. I took a few steps to my right and threw open the blinds. There was just enough light from the moon and the streetlights to see. I lowered the gun, and just as I did, the man sprung up from the floor. "No," I whispered in shock. He walked to me and set his hands firmly on my shoulders. I was too afraid to do anything. I just let the gun slip from my fingers and fall to the floor. He bent his head so it was level with mine, and looked searchingly into my eyes. All I could do was stare back. Above his eyes, on his forehead, was a little red hole. A bullet hole, I realized. "It's gone," he said in a thick German accent, and sighed in relief as he took his hands from my shoulders. "What?" I stuttered. "I'm sorry for the scare, girl, but it's the best way to do this." I said nothing. "Where are my manners?" He wiped his palms on his pants and extended his hand. "My name is Klaus." I didn't move my hand to shake his. "No matter. I understand. I'm still an intruder. But the black smoke that swirled from your eyes, young lady, it was as bad as I've ever seen it." "Who are you?" "I'm Klaus," he smiled, confused. "No, I mean, what do you want?" "I wanted to get rid of that monster infecting your brain. It scares even a ghost like me. It's easy to spot up close, but that night when I first saw you, I had never seen the smoke from so far." "What smoke?" "Those horrifying thoughts that fester in your head. They're put there by a beast and they belch a smoke. I was given a gift to see that evil when it pours from people's eyes." "I shot you," I said, remembering as I looked at the hole in his head. He sighed. "I'm afraid not." He took off his hat and held it in both hands. "When our farm failed, I wandered to the old well at the property line. I sat on the edge, put a pistol to my head, and that was supposed to be that." I knew I'd succeeded in dying, but there was something in the earth, something in the well that kept my spirit alive. I still don't know if it's good or evil, but I've learned to use it for good. I've gotten rid of a lot of monsters I've seen behind people's eyes. In fact, I must be going soon, but I'll tell you what I do know. Sometimes we have to fear for it before we realize how badly we want our life. And I know what the alternative is. I know death. It's nothing. That sounds like bliss to you, doesn't it? But such a word is incomprehensible to the living. You think of death as darkness and nothingness as the same. But even darkness is entirely something. Klaus looked into my eyes. And not even the blind see black. He stepped around me and stared out the window. Whatever water my body fell into was cursed. I exist, yet I feel nothing. I know when someone I know when something should make me happy or sad or laugh, but I don't feel it. And I miss everything. I miss the wind against my skin. I miss love and wonder and boredom. I even miss the sadness that drove me to put that bullet in my head. Anything. He shook his head. I wish I could feel anything, but nothing at all. The fright I gave you is interesting, isn't it? You think you'd give anything to die without having to do the deed yourself. But when the opportunity presents itself, you realize the truth. Deep down, you don't want to die. Do you? I felt like I could cry then. Great hiccuping sobs of release. The cries that sadness had stolen from me and replaced with indifference. And while depression was far from defeated, I knew the most important part of getting through it. I knew I wanted to be alive. He started walking towards the front door. I understand you're alone. I understand the anxiety you feel when you wake knowing you must somehow forward another day, and I know. Klaus put his hat back on and adjusted the brim. I know that at the end of each and every day, you are oh so tired. But child, you must try to comprehend. He rubbed the hole in his head mournfully. You are oh so alive. That was really sweet. that was a really wholesome one. That was really wholesome. That wasn't spooky at all. That was a wonderful story. Thank you for sharing that one. I think that's actually a good one to end it on. Partially because my throat kind of hurts. It was amazing meeting you too, Andrew. Thank you so much for dropping by. Thank you, thank you. Bye-bye. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. I was expecting to be scared, not to cry. Yeah, I did good. You did good. Yes, good. Good no punch, man. Iko da ne. Other fan servicey things. Well, can we have another one another day? Yeah, of course. I love doing this. I apologize that I'm not the best reader, I guess. I stumble a lot and I stutter and I pronounce words wrong. But I had a lot of fun doing this. But I totally just read for 3 hours straight and my throat is killing me. Yeah. I think we will continue this another time. Less SCPs next time. Preferably, I like reading stories. Because with SCPs, it's like just literally reading Wikipedias. Thank you for the hydrate. Maybe I should practice like voice acting. There was one summer where I tried learning how to voice act and it went pretty okay. But since then, that was like 2019. Since then, I haven't done anything. And so now I'm too shy to voice act. You've got a good voice, even if you stumble through parts. It's very nice. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm actually really self-conscious with my speaking voice. And so I'm glad you guys enjoyed. Thank you for listening to me read. And thank you for the head pads and for just keeping me company. I hope you guys had fun. Ooh, I did say we were going to watch some cute animal videos to try and get rid of the spoops. So let's do that really quickly. Just a minute. Cute animal videos. Alright. Let's look at this for a little bit. Chats. Let's de-spoopify. De-spoopify. Oh no, come back. Where'd it go? Let's de-spoopify. Yes, yes, yes. Lots of cute animals. Despite being a spoopy reading stream, this was oddly comfy. Oh, thank you for all the head pats, and I'm glad that it was comfy. I had a lot of fun. Yes, de-spoop. Oh my god, it's... Oh, not the pig. Are we good? Oh, I'm conflicted. That was conflicting. Oh, look at the widow tails. I love ducks. I love ducks. I love ducks. One of my favorite animals. Oh, widow, widow baby. Oh my god, these are so cute. This is definitely de-spoopifying. De-spoopifying. Oh my god. You're never going to look at a pig the same way again? I feel like I'll forget about it. It's okay. Can't unsee the pig after this story. Hey, chat. Would you feed the pig? Oh my god. It's a hot dog making himself a hot dog. It's a hot dog hot dog. Oh my god. Seahorses can hug? Good answer, No Punch Man. I really want to sit in the middle of a bunch of kittens and just relax. I guess my silly horror dream. I will definitely read that off stream, Avi. I'll read that tonight and I'll respond to it. Thank you so much for sharing it. So cute. My man's doing flips. Oh my god. Honestly, don't know what I would do. I'm probably going to go straight to hell no matter what I do, but that's just me. That's only if you taste bad. Just eat the pig. We don't have a hug command, but maybe I should make one. Oh my god, so cute. Marsupial, the type of animals that have pouches, it's crazy to me. Like, damn, you just have a pocket of flesh in your body. Marsupials, thank you. Thank you for the lurk, Joy Oppa. Love you lots. I gotta make sure I take care of my Tokis. I gotta de-spoopify them. No one's going to bed with nightmares tonight. Gotta de-spoopify you guys. Penguin! So cute. Oh my god, monkey? No, that's mean. I was about to say, hey guys, look, it's Twitch chat. Get it? Because monkeys. Oh my god, it's exercising! No, you want to piss the bed? I mean, you're more than welcome to, Minakaro. Also, welcome back from your lurk. Dude, he's a gamer! He's a gamer! Amazing. Oh my god, what is that? Oh, I love it, but it's weird. Stingray? Do stingrays look like that? Oh my god, I can't believe they photographed that. Kitty, be careful! Twitch chat, when the streamer doesn't have a cooldown on hydrate, for real! It was a manta ray, I see. Dude, cats are crazy. That cat really just fucking did that, huh? Oh my god! That's so cute. What the fuck? Oh my god. That dog is living its life. This video is 30 minutes long. No way we're watching the whole thing. Walrus workout. For real. Dude, why that cat just standing there like a... Oh! That fly. Cats are crazy. Cats are built different. I found Mr. Puff. There you go. My dog can do that too. So cute. Oh my god, the little costumes. The little footprints. Oh my god. All right, while this video is playing, let's look for someone to raid. Shall we? Panda living his best life for real. Would you guys... Oh my god, so many people are playing Tower of Fantasy. Would you guys like to watch... Let's send you somewhere comfy. Do you guys want Stardew or Minecraft? I'll let you guys choose. Stardew or Minecraft? Pangoro using rollout. So cute. Can Pangoro learn rollout? Stardew. That means we're gonna be raiding our good friend Mono. Let's raid our good friend Mono then. Oh my god. He's building a snowman. Oh! Oh my god, that cat's not real. The possum is me trying to carry my teammates in League. Alright. Let's stop sharing this. Thank you guys so much for the stream today. I had so much fun. That cat is so cute. I'm gonna cry. Don't cry, bestie. No crying. No crying. Alright, let's raid. One nickel. Am I late to the stories? We're just about to end. I am so sorry. You are late. I'm so sorry. But yeah, we're just about to end. How long has he been streaming? He should be streaming for like another hour. Well, thank you guys so much for stream today, you guys. Thank you for keeping me company and letting me read you some stories. Tomorrow, I'll be doing a collab stream with Minnie. We're gonna be playing Terraria tomorrow. So if you want some funny gremlin action, please do join for tomorrow's stream. Otherwise, follow me on my socials. Twitter is where I shitpost and post updates. YouTube is where my music stuff is at. VODs are also on YouTube. And I shitpost and do funny music stuff on TikTok. Join our Discord server. All the stories that I read today were in our Discord server. It's in the Toki text chat channel. If you want to reread any of the stories or read any of the stories I couldn't get to, feel free to do that. We also have community nights every Sunday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This week we're likely going to be playing video games. Not sure what yet. Maybe I don't know. We'll see. And this is the raid message. You can unlock the emote for just 80 channel points. I made it as cheap as Daddy Twitch would let me. And yeah. Hey, want me to do something funny before you guys leave? You want to see something funny? Want me to blind you guys? Here, let me blind you guys. Blinding! Alright, I'll see you guys tomorrow. If not, very soon. Mwah, mwah, I love you. This is Chat's hand. I'm cuddling Chat's hand. I love you guys. Alright, I'll see you tomorrow. If not, very soon. A reminder to be kind to yourselves. And feed the pig. Bye-bye. 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 Mwah. Bye-bye.